Right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The playoffs are here for Division 3 of Balance League. I am Motojo. I'm here with Demise, and today we see the matchup of Division 3's leaders, or rather winners, Abstract Chaos versus Division 3B's Ablaze. The second place from there. Demise, this should be a hype one, even though there are some obstacles, especially for Ablaze to overcome today.
It is. Abstract Chaos has been on a really hot streak. They're one of the favorites to just go through win the whole thing. But also Blaze has been doing really well, but sadly they've been hit with like multiple catastrophes. So they lost their mid laner. They're using an emergency sub. And they currently will lose all bans in game 1 and 3 bans in every game afterwards for using a said emergency substitute.
Yeah, this
Let's
is
see if they can
definitely going to be
overcome
a
it
fun.
though.
Yeah, but they are a strong team. I could definitely see them challenging Abstract Chaos, even though, as we said, it's going to be an upwards battle. With Ezreal and Nocturne taken off the table, already two very strong champions gone. There's going to be one more ban for here. So with only one side having bans, lots of power picks still on the table. Anything in particular you're looking for today?
Well, there's always like the usual suspect of the patch, like especially these junglers. Like you have the Diana, you have the Zinzhao, you have the Viego. Then you can have like if you're like a really competent carry top, you can like play stuff like Camille. And then like you have like power picks or the comfort picks for like the both sides that are gonna be open because there's much less bans. They might be less available for Blaze given that they lack the bans, but like you can't ban everything with just 5 bans on one side. So it's gonna be a really open game. So it will be really interesting to see how it goes from there.
Yeah, lots of champions that we shouldn't usually see when everybody has bans could be on the table here. Going to be an interesting game, one that much is definitely for sure. Now let's see what Abstract Chaos decide they have the highest priority on.
Yeah, and the first pick right now, and they can just hover flex pick or just get one of the priority picks or the comfort picks for them.
Or pick something away, because as we said, only 3 bans means lots of champions that we usually could see on that bench will be available. And the Trundle seems like a fairly safe first pick, can be flexed to a bunch of different roles at this point in the patch history. But not the most usual first pick in a situation like this, right?
Yeah, you'd assume that they would go for like a power pick or like something that is also as flexible as a Trundle, but that can also like be like more impactful in the current patch cycle. And there are stuff open like that. And the Annie,
Ooh. LS is proud of Ablaze right now, bringing out the Annie.
and the Annie is like somewhat of a good answer to the Trundle because as far as I remember, the shield gives movement speed to both her and her shield ally. So you got like a shield, movement speed, you got stuns, you got burst damage. Like it's really good for like mid, and you can see like Blaze is just going for like a mid-range like engaged bursty comp with the Jarvan Annie. Like that is just a decent engage from the two of them. That can be a really decent one too. We can like see stuff like Samira for the follow-up as an example. So it would be like interesting to see what Abstract Chaos is gonna respond here.
Yeah, already we are seeing some kind of all-in wombo combo composition from the side of Ablaze, which, does make sense if you're having to use an emergency substitute. Play something that is fairly easy to execute, where you just have to have your communication in order, and then just pile on the enemy team. Ari is the answer, very safe mid laner. Smart choice, I think, especially against the Jarvan.
Yeah, and also against the Annie because most of the time you just outrange her and like you can just like basically harass her in lane if you're competent enough. So it'd be really interesting to see like can they like can a Blaze like hold the Annie to like be useful throughout the game, and there's the Ashe as well, and you can see like they're trying to like outrange the engage of Blaze with these picks. Like you got kiting, you got like a bigger range, you got like a good amount of CC. Like the pillar can interrupt the Trundle, and you can see the hover of the Gwen, and they're just
Ooh.
going all in.
Snip, snip. Gwen locked in for the top lane, presumably for Kenny. So this is going to be taking a little while here with these bans not being available, as we said in the first game, for Ablaze. They're going to have to clock down that counter. On the other side, Abstract Chaos will be able to ban still with probably both solo lanes picked. I expect the bans to go the way of bot lane picks.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you can leave either like bot or support for a counter matchup, but you're most likely gonna leave support for the counter matchup.
Right.
So there you go. Like pinching the 80 carry pool. Like I would have expected Samira first, because Samira goes much like really well with like Jarvan, Annie, Gwen. But Caitlyn is really good, like into Ash, and also like into like having like siege and control with like the traps and like just the damage threat of like an early game Caitlyn.
Yeah, Caitlyn really proficient at bringing down these towers early. If you want to stabilize your game uh, and have a stable bot lane for the early phases of the game, probably not the worst decision to get rid of that. Let's see what their last ban is going to be. Asko, of course, usually the support of Ablaze, so it's going to be a bit harder to guess what kind of AD carry champions he is going to play. Um, Solo queue is a bit all over the place here, but not many ADC games. And so they decide to follow your advice and get rid of the Samira.
Yeah, and now there is like the question, like how many other 80 carries can like complement what the Blaze is trying to achieve? You can have things like you can go Twitch Lulu, or like like what else would be good in here? You can go Aphelios, you can, because like Aphelios is really good if they're walking into you, or
I'd
like if you
love a
already have the
Tristana.
engager set up.
Yeah, but they're hiding their ADC here. Nautilus is the lock-in.
Yeah, and there's really heavy engage on the side of the Blaze. There's high pick potential. And the set is gonna be the secondary front wall, and you're gonna guess now who's gonna be support. Is it gonna be Set? Is it gonna be Trundle? Who's going where? The last pick is the one that's gonna decide everything.
Oh. I mean, yeah, they do need engage here. Trundle and Set do have tools to help you engage, but both not the champion that can jump into the enemy front line and start the fight. So Alistar, I think, a very smart choice here for that surefire point and click engage with the headbutt.
Indeed, and there was a Tristana hover. Apparently, it's coming. It's gonna be really good in the tag team comp.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana goes really well with the Jarvan Annie combo and the Nautilus engage as well. Should be able to hold her own against Ashe and Lane at least a little bit when it comes to push power because of that E. So I think the Tristan is a really smart choice here for the side of Blaze. With these comps standing, though, it's looking like a set top lane and Trundle jungle choice. Demise, tell me, who do you think is going to walk away with game one just based on the composition?
Just straight up from what I'm seeing right now, it is all resting into finding picks from the side of a Blaze. Because if the game like it's all based on vision, like setup, so you can get things done. Because if you don't get things done as like Jarvan, Annie, Nautilus, it is really hard to like just like handle the fact that there is a set with a ton of sustain and good engage and even good disengage if he wants to. You have Trundle, they have Ari and Ash that outrange your whole comp and can just press a button and suddenly you're picked off. And you already have really good engage on the side of a Blaze. It is really hard to disengage from anyone outside of the Gwen and maybe the Tristana that still can be interrupted with like an Alistar or like a pillar, which is a really good counter to what the Tristana is trying to achieve, which is like a more risky version of the traditional marksman, but also you have the safety of the rocket jump. But now this can also be interrupted. So it's gonna be
True, yeah.
really interesting to see like can they like execute the cancels of the rocket jumps? Can they find the picks? Can Ablaze find the picks? Because that's what they're resting on right now.
Yeah, also, like you said, I think Disengage is a big name of the game here, especially for Abstract Chaos. They have the Alistar to chuck you right back where you came from when you engage with that headbutt. They have the Trundle Pillar to put some distance in between you and them. Ari, of course, has the ultimate, the Spirit Rush, to get away from any sort of engage. And of course, there's Set, who also can just throw you back into your own team. So, really strong engage tools on the side of Abstract Chaos. And as I said, it's going to be about picking someone off before fights, I think, for a Blaze, because if they don't do that, it's just they're just going to be disengaged from every fight that Abstract Heroes do not want for themselves. They're going to be throwing us a bit of a curveball here. They've swapped their roles around a bit. It looks like Kenny's going to be going mid. Crown King looking for the top lane, probably with the Gwen, unless they want the Annie in the top lane. And Asko stays on support while their emergency substitute will be piloting that Tristana as the AD carry.
Yeah, and the thing is though, like with that status that the game is going, having bot lane prio is gonna be pivotal for the side of a Blaze to get anything going because, as we just said, they have good disengage tools on the side of abstract. So what you need to do is to make them walk into you. So they have to burn it while walking out. Like because you have good engage, but also if you are abstract and you have to walk into the engage of a Blaze, that is really scary. That is a really scary prospect. Because at the end of the day, like Gwen cannot be touched by the Ash or the Ahri once she has like her mist shroud around her. So that is always gonna be like really dangerous because you're gonna have your melees fighting Gwen without any help, unless like an Alistar decides to chuck himself in, which is also really hard because Gwen is untargetable for some reason inside of the mist.
200 years of
So
champion design
yeah,
experience once again on that Gwen.
so it's gonna be like really interesting to see the dynamics because it will all depend on like lane prio set up around objectives, and that will be like the important determining factor outside of like actual like individual plays because they can facilitate like a pick if you are the one that have bot prio and have established vision and are like demanding them to come into you, not the other way around.
Yeah. All right. Then, as you said, with the bot prio, for one, then on the other side, it's going to be about dragon stacking, isn't it? Because with both these team compositions, as you said, walking into them is going to be a tough ask. So you are going to have to be at the objective first if you want to have the better chance of securing it. And then defending your ground, your vision, making sure you know where the engage is coming from, so you can use the tools you have to find the fight that you are looking for.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be really fun to watch. Let's see if there's like anything that's gonna be interesting to happen in the lane, because like lanes can be volatile. Bot lane can have a really volatile 2v2, and either one of them can snowball this game out of control.
True story. I know everybody has made that experience in solo queue. Really ahead Tristana, just jumping around, killing you from about a billion range away because her auto attacks range gets so high with levels. Or this Ash that is just so fed that no matter how what you try to do to chase her down, she's just gonna walk away, slow you while auto attacking you, and not even your gap closest can do enough because she just keeps healing up with these auto attacks. If any of these champions gets really ahead, gonna be a tough ask for the other team to do much against it. But also, I think this top lane is going to be very, very volatile. Both are piloting champions that are not necessarily the best when they're behind.
Indeed, and like Set really needs to have like actual value in this situation because you're the one that's gonna be responsible for like sending the Gwen back into her team or sending the Jarvan back into your team. And if you just do that and instantly die, like it's not gonna be the most useful like suplex ever in the history of like games. But
Yeah,
then
also,
on the other hand, like how are you gonna respond to like a set that's jumping into you and just sending a haymaker, a fully charged one, into the face of your carries?
I'm really interested as well on how this set is going to be built. Is it going to be mathematically correct with a lot of HP? Is it going to be more of a bruisery build with some resistances, some damage, and some HP? Or are we going full damage as solo queue likes to do sometimes? Going to be a really interesting one to watch because you are going to need some durability against the Gwen's superior range on the abilities, but then on the other hand, you do want the damage to take her out if you can get to her or hit a face breaker in the early to mid stages of the game. Because late game side lane, I don't see much that he can do to Gwen.
He probably doesn't stand the leg onto Gwen once you're like 2 3 items in and you're both side laning. It will all depend though, like how far ahead can like a lane lead a crew because end of the day, both Trundle and Jarvan can have good ganks. Like all lanes are gankable except for maybe Ari, but like every lane has good gank setup.
Yeah,
Except like Annie needs to be really up close and personal to have like gank setup against JPF on the Ari. So it's gonna be like really interesting to see like are the junglers gonna like just like sit there and full clear and play for dragons and play it safe since it's a playoff match, or are they gonna like just like throw it all in?
yeah.
Like just find ganks left, right, and center. Like like just like scuttle roam three camps in gank. Like how's it gonna go?
Yeah, I mean, especially in playoffs, coming out of the gate swinging can be a huge boon to you. Because just rolling over game one because you'll try a lot of plays and most of them work will be extremely big for your mental. But if these early plays that you're trying to make with these ganks and farming less on the jungler do not work, or even throw you back because they fail, or fall back on you with you giving up the kills, huge disadvantage for your mental. So really interested to see, especially with this Jarvan that is a champion that can gank a lot in the early game. Um, Interested to see what they're going to do, especially as pre-level 6 Ari could be a target, post-level 6 not so much, of course. And looks like we're already having yeah, we're already going to have client issues for one of the teams that will help us in not having to sync up with production, but we're going to have a little more of waiting time to see when the internet issues go away. It gives us time to rearrange, of course, where everybody's going from the side of Ablaze on the red side. And we are looking to resolve this as quickly as possible. Now, while we're waiting, Demise, do we expect a level 1 invade? I see a lot of tools with that Nautilus on the one side, but then on the other side, Ashe is always extremely strong level 1.
Yeah, and like Set also is one of the best level 1 champions just in the fact of row stats. Like, especially if you can like find a good angle, if you like level up the correct ability in the situation. I don't think that there will be any invades in game one unless like one of the two teams is just like, I don't know, wanting to gain mental edge on the other one, like to live rent free in their heads. But otherwise, I think it should be like a fairly standard like 5-man spread, like ward, recon, then like resume to lane as normal.
Right then, seems we are still looking at connection issues on the blue side jungle. But it's looking to be resolved. Clients are being restarted here now with these early lanes looking fairly even from the matchup perspective for now. Could you see any matchup where the junglers say, okay, I have to go here to influence this? Because you already said bot lane is going to be important, but also top lane being extremely volatile, and this Ari not really gankable post level 6. Where do you think these junglers going to put their earliest attention to?
I think naturally you should expect a little bit more prio out of the Tristana, like level 1 to 4, until Ash gets like a few points in volley, and then she's like capable of like maintaining prio herself. So that could be like a place where
A
you can
summoner
find the
has
contention
reconnected.
in the bot lane. Mid lane can be gankable, but it depends on a plethora of factor, and it depends on also JPF like not respecting the fact that like Pogan and Holy can be there at any second. But
Right.
otherwise, like top lane can be gankable, but it really requires like setup. Like it really requires that you have the face breaker and the Trundle have the pillar, or the Gwen to like be able to like set a good engage or like just manipulate the wave enough
All
for
right
the
then.
J4 to come in with the EQ.
All right, and the champions have spawned. Jarvan with a dancing, getting a bit of a head start. Now the gates are open. The champions are walking out of the base. It is indeed not looking like we are poised for an invade. Do not worry about the frame freezing here. That usually does happen in Spectator Land after a pause at the moment. I do hope our small indie company overlords at Riot Games are able to fix that soon. On the other side, the champions are moving. It does look like Ablaze are sticking together. This could be the level 1 invade. We didn't really expect, but here it goes. That's a flash force. They tried the TSM. They tried the welcome to America, but it does force a flash from JPF,
Yeah,
pardon me.
and that's an early summoner, and that's an important summoner. That now makes JPF really like suspect to a gank. That can like play a big factor, cause especially you can see like Jarvan is going to the bot side. Apparently, I think.
Oh, they are looking for some vision here. Kamaka Wiwole Almost caught here. Prime King with some damage from the snip and snap. And here comes Asko. This time the hook lands the root as well onto JPF. Remember, he has no flash, but the rest of the team not close enough to follow up on that. But mental edge gained for Ablaze.
Yeah, and JPF he's just sweating right now. You see, like everything is just being targeted at him. 5-man mid, Nala is coming in again. But it seems to be like more of a standard lane. Eventually JPF should restore his healing with the Q passive. But we'll see, like you have a flashless Ahri right now. That is the most vulnerable an Ahri can be to a Jarvan in the early game.
Yeah,
She doesn't have remain summoner.
Yeah, especially as we said pre-6, no Spirit Rush available. No means of escape without that flash. We should probably expect Jarvan to pay this sooner rather than later, as soon as the Annie is able to stack up that stun from her own passive. Now directed camera does love these top lane. Let's not call them battles yet. They're just standing there looking at each other menacingly.
Yeah, and Wave seems to be pushing in. Oh.
That is a face breaker landing. Now Kamaka Wiwole has the level 2 early, forcing Cranking to dash away, but now also level 2, so they're going to be fairly even in that regard. Another hook lands here. The jump immediately forward from ATM. And they get the knockup onto Asko. A lot of damage exchanged. Ignite even used by Asko here, but that was a lot of health going. Speaking of a lot of health going, look at Kamaka Wiwole. He has to flash away from King, who had flashed in to try and finish this kill. So far, everyone survives.
Yeah, and it seems to be like a lot of small edges are gained by Ablaze, which is really good for them because they need as many edges as they can get for like the first couple of dragons. And you can see like they already have him prior for bot lane, and Jarvan is coming up top right now.
Oh, no flash on this set. He is sure to die if he doesn't find a good way here. He gets a good face break on bomb from the Haymaker. Does a lot of damage, but Crimson gets the first blood anyway. Now, teleport has come here from the Ahri. Gets the return kill onto Krieger King, but has he bitten off more than he can chew? Yes! Flash from the Jarvan makes it 2-for-1 in the top lane.
God bless, he almost made the standard dragon strike right there in the first kill, but then he managed to sync it up. It was a good 1-for-1, TP burn. Now you have no summoners into Ahri. She's already stunted in lane.
So much damage from the Gwen. Look at this, Kamaka Wiwole already down to less than half HP again, and Jarvan is here. If he steps just one step too far forward, he is going to get ganked again by the Jarvan, but for now he looks to be safe enough as the wave has been pushing towards him. The two junglers are meeting in the jungle. Here comes a face breaker again, but no follow-up this time.
Yeah, but the disadvantage of this is you can see like Trundle is doing a full clear. He's even going to the other scuttle, but thankfully Nautilus is there to cover the scuttle for Jarvan, who's now recalling. So it is really interesting now because you can see in the top lane, Gwen has the huge advantage.
There misses the charm, there misses the hook, everybody misses their abilities, but still lots of damage points exchanged. No one using any summoners though.
Yeah, and then there is no summoners to be had on the Ahri too. It's gonna be really interesting to see, and like they have actually traded. No, they didn't trade scuttles, no. Thunder got both.
Snip, snap, lots of damage onto Kamaka Wiwole. Here comes the Haymaker, that's a lot of damage in return. Snip and snap, but no one dead.
That's just a really close exchange. That was really risky from Criminal King. And like, how is it gonna go from here? Oh, a face breaker misses. Like you have lane prio, mid lane has prio, bot lane even has some sort of prio. So how are you gonna like adjust this lead into something that you can gain, aka a dragon, or like a skirmish that is favorable for you?
Yeah, they looked like they wanted to take this dragon, but since they're not entirely sure where JPF and Chicken are, they do decide against it. And Jarvan just looking for a bit of an invade here on the enemy chickens. It's gonna be confusing having a jungler called Chicken in game with chickens. We'll have to call them Razorbeaks, I guess, their original name.
Or you can call them Raptors.
That is fair. Okay, here, this time ATM and Asko have the push that will allow them a safe recall. And already their second one, actually. Karis has not recalled at all yet, still sitting on that Doran's Blade, so no wonder he's being pushed in. This time, Kamakawiwole in the top lane does have the push himself, but that's a lot of minions that Creon King can still pick up. So I'd give the overall seriously to him, but now here lands a face breaker. Kamakawiwole is level 6. Snip, snip! Lots of damage here. I don't think Kamaka can keep chasing this in, even though his jungler is here. They could try to find the dive here. Creon King not level 6 yet, but they decide against it. This Gwen just too healthy at the moment.
Yeah, and it's really risky because she gets 6 onto this wave, so if she like plays her card right, they could have died there in the dive. So they respected the Gwen, maybe a little too much, but they can find something in the Annie here.
That's a good stun, good flash from Kenny to avoid this gank, and the charm also dead, but still so much damage coming in. Here comes Tempest though, and the bear's angry, the bear's burning, and JPF is on 1 HP, just waiting for the Jarvan Q cooldown. Progenitor gets that kill, and it's 3-1 on the board for the underdogs.
Yeah, and 100% KP on the Jarvan. He's been orchestrating everything right there. And it's really important because right now you have a lead in the mid lane. You have Prio and bot. You're probably gonna get the dragon, and that is really dangerous for like your Ahri to be the weak link in the time where she's needed to be the one that's spacing out the Annie and the Jarvan, so they don't get like that far ahead of the game.
Yeah, that is 10 CS, and the plate in the mid lane is working wonderfully so far. They're going to put an Ocean Dragon in their back pocket as well. Next one will be an Infernal one, so we're looking at either a Cloud or a Mountain Soul. For now though, just this one Dragon and a 1200 gold lead for Ablaze.
Yeah, hopefully not a Cloud though. We want an instant game in this one.
The Cloud Soul curse.
Yeah, so far it's been going pretty good for Ablaze. Like, they haven't had their bans, they haven't emergency stuff, but they're doing really well. Like, top lane is accruing a lead, mid lane is doing really well into an Ahri considering the matchup. And Jarvan has been running the game around, and Autumn and Asgore is just like really fine and stable where they at. And it will be interesting to see, like, unless there's any major exchanges that happen, this should be a second dragon for Ablaze.
Speaking of major exchanges, there was the Showstopper and the Facebreaker used, the Haymaker also, but here comes Creon King with the ultimate. Here comes another Haymaker, and there's so much damage, less than 200 to be great flash from Kamaka. We want it. Creon King has to flash away as well, but both live.
Yeah, and that was a really close exchange, but right there the advantage is with the Seb, because he's the one that's gonna out-sustain, he's the one that kinda won the trade, he's getting a level lead on the Gwen. And that is really important because now you can see like the Seb can easily stand up to the Gwen in like a skirmish or a team fight. Yeah, that is a really important standard to maintain.
Right then, and they do need this solo lane advantage because the other solo lane not really going their way. The Ahri still behind around 10 CS compared to the Annie. At least lucky for JPF is that kill on him was onto Progenitor and not for the Annie, not giving more gold than necessary on the enemy mid laner. Speaking of that Jarvan though that you praised having 100% KP, he's now in the top lane, but this could be a 2v3 because Ahri is here. Charm misses once again though. Here comes Deathfall with the Spirit Rush though. It's good damage from that Q, but not much more.
Yeah, and the Spirit Rush is burned, and now Annie can eventually like find pressure, like pressure the wave, and this is really vulnerable for Ahri. Suddenly you don't have your ultimate nor your flash, which is still on cooldown.
Alright then. Let's look at the lane states a little bit here. While this Rift Herald is being taken by the side of Abstract Chaos, a hook lands in the bot lane, but yeah, just some friendly exchange of words, probably between the support champions. Lanes are still fairly even. There's no huge leads just yet, just between like 300 gold for the laners. It's a 700 gold lead for Progenitor in the jungle. He has most of the gold lead that his team has. Now it's interesting to see if he can put this lead where they really want it, onto the solo laners or on the Tristana.
Yeah. So like in the top lane, like Gwen has been having the Prio push, but whenever it comes to the trade, most time it ends up being fairly even. She's like a little bit of the trades most of the time. But on the other hand, like a mid and bot lane,
the snips are so damn hard to deal with for Kamakawiwole at the moment. Look at this. More than 2/3 of his health bar were gone at that point with the wave pushing, and now Gwen accompanies Progenitor on that invade in the topside jungle. Luckily for Abstract Chaos, nothing really to gain here, but they could loop around and find a gank onto JFPF, who doesn't have the Spirit Rush available, but moves towards the bottom side of the lane in time. That's a great charm here. Lots of tower damage onto Progenitor as well with the Orb of Deception to boot. That Jarvan will have to turn tail and run, but Gwen is in the mid lane to make sure no chase is happening.
Yeah, and really good from JPF to find that and to stand his ground. And yeah, no summoner has been burned, but now you have taken the Jarvan mostly off the map for like the next 30 seconds to a minute.
Here is an ultimate used in the bot lane, but here comes the Bull with a knockup from the headbutt Pulverize, and ATM is now a little bit ahead of his support Asko, who's on a low HP. Summoners used Ignite from Alistar, Flash from Ashe, and Flash from Nautilus. So it's actually Summoner win for red side here, as the Rift Herald has been summoned and taking some plates in the mid lane.
Indeed, and that gold in the mid lane is really important for the Ahri and the Trundle right now, because Trundle is trying to gain even footing. He's still even in farm with the Jarvan so far. And it's gonna be really interesting to see, like, can Ahri stand their ground, because it seems like JPF still can, like, contest it, still can find the pick, still can find the farm.
Needlework here comes the showstopper in the 1v1 in the top lane. They've been extremely close for now. Dodges the haymaker, and now the chase is on. Teleport is coming through to save this top laner. Kamaka Wiwole saved again by the teleport from JPF. That was not a winning fight for him. This Gwen is starting to gain steam.
Yeah, and really gone on Creon King for dodging that haymaker. That was the one that made all the difference before the TP from JPF. And once again, JPF is always, like, just drained out of his resources. He had to burn his TP just to save Kama twice. He has to burn his Flash level 1. And he doesn't have Spirit Rush in time for the Infernal, which is seemingly gonna be an Ablaze camp.
Yeah, looks like it. There are 4 members here already. I don't think Abstract Chaos can be here in time. They start stacking dragons pretty early. 13 minutes, second break. Picked up. And we're going to have the soul of the cloud kind as usual.
What is it with the cloud souls, dude?
Oh. Here comes the Spirit Rush. Asko is isolated, gets knocked out by the headbutt Pulverize, and will fall to JPF. That was just a great punish on a greedy attack on a ward.
Yeah, and he didn't have any vision on Ahri, and I think they just still thought that the Spirit Rush was on cooldown, so it's really good in JPF. He's finding his leads elsewhere other than the lane because he's 30 CS behind.
There came the Ashe ultimate, forcing the flash and the heal from ATM and the teleport from Kenny. But now the Alistar is in big trouble. The Bullet 43 being chased by a bear and a little girl with fire powers. But for now, looks like Alistar is going to be walking out of that while the top laners keep changing flows.
Yeah, and the lanes has been doing stable for both sides right now. But that is a really big summoner burn, because right now, like, Auden doesn't have Flash for the next Cloud, which is gonna be the one that they really want to capture and see on slow point.
Oh, top lane dive, needlework used, but it cannot save the Gwen. Great dash though, that one can save her, and so manages to outplay the 2v1 dive. Great survivability there by Crying King.
Yeah, that is really great job, because he burned both the Subjugate and the Face Breaker right there.
Oh, round 2. They're trying again, that's so much damage, but they get the kill. Kamaka Wiwole will survive with the help of the Haymaker, and the second attempt, the dive is successful. Meanwhile, their own bot lane is pushing as well. This could be fatal though, as Jarvan and Nautilus are coming from behind. Can they get the loop in time? The Bullet though is ahead of the plan, gets the headbutt, gets a double. Pulverize, could die though. Here comes the Jarvan ultimate, and they get the kill on the dive. So 1-for-1 across the map.
Yeah, and first tower goes to the side of Abstract Chaos, and that evens the gold back. And right now, both teams are like 2,200 gold apiece. And most of the gold on the side of Ablaze is into the Jarvan, and as you can see, like, Abstract Chaos trying to find ways away from the Jarvan. They found the top side fight, they found the dive, they found the tower. And there is good reciprocation from the side of Ablaze. But is it worth? It wasn't worth, because at the end of the day, they got 1 kill for the kill and the tower and the summoners in Crayon.
and they're looking for a death brush here in the mid lane. No recalls being channeled just yet, just trying to bait this Ahri as far forward as possible. Spirit Rush is available though, walks away from the tower just to be extra safe. Azko may take tower shots, but they're not going to find themselves a fox.
Yeah, but really good on JPF. Like, he had like really good composure. He didn't burn his Spirit Rush. He knows his limits. He knows the limits of Nautilus. And right now you can see like both teams are angling towards the top side.
Yeah, but looking at the inventories on the side of Abstract Chaos, only Kawakawi Wale has his mythic item available, while on the other side jungle, mid and ADC all sit on a mythic. Despite that, they are going to get the second Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, and it seems that Blaze is just gonna concede it for like better tempo, because you can see like they're trying to move to mid. They had recalls on most of their members, and even the Annie is recalling right now, and they don't seem to mind the second Herald, because at the end of the day, it's probably only gonna get a tier 1 turret in mid or bot lane. But you can see like a healthy CS lead in like both mid and bot, and even top to some extent. There's like a 10 CS gap right there. So they're just taking, hey, we have a small edge right now, we just maintain a small edge. Dragon is spawning in 1 minute, we set up there, and then we play there. They're playing really respectfully the Abstract Chaos. So it's gonna see like, this fight is gonna be the pivotal one.
Yeah, at the moment, all the vision in the lower half of the map, every single ward in that southern quadrant and the river, except for one tiny one in the Dragon Pit, belongs to Ablaze. They control vision in the river at the moment, but now the recalls have come through. It's still 30 seconds until the Dragon spawns, and Abstract Chaos will be going forward to try and challenge this vision. Even Kamakawi Wale is recalling, has the teleport available though to join any fight, so he cancels the recall, keeps pushing that top lane. Grand King does have his own teleport available, but chooses to be with a team to fight that vision war ahead of the Dragon spawning.
Yeah, and you can see right now in itemization, which we were speaking of a minute earlier, everybody's on their mythic, but the support in both teams. It's gonna be the...
That was a great Tibbers onto Karis, who has to run away here. The knockdown comes in from the Nautilus ultimate though, and they will find the kill on Trundle, they will find the kill on Alistar as well. It's 2 for nothing for Ablaze, while the charm goes wide here, and Ahri has a Spirit Usher, way to live. This is surely going to mean the third dragon for Ablaze. This Ashe is almost dead, there's no way they can challenge. Well, we'll get the top tower in return, likely, with this set pushing and pushing and pushing. But still, 3 dragons is already a pretty big threat, 8.5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, but the tier 2 in the side lane with really big gold influx. They are really playing around the set. They get in the resources, say, hey, we're gonna like, you're gonna have to play around the TP. They don't get the TP, they just let him have it, have a tower, have the gold. It's okay, you're gonna live Pride another day. It's Ocean Soul at the end of the day. It's not like the most dooming thing. So they gave the set as much resources, so maybe in the next fight or 2, when he's there, he's able to flip the table on the side of the Blaze.
Do have to give big compliments here though to Asko and Kenny for their coordination here, and Kenny for that flash Tibbers onto the Ashe, the pivotal target at the moment in these fights for Abstract Chaos, forcing the Ashe out of the fight immediately before it really even starts. And so Chicken and the Bullet were sitting ducks to just be burst down by the rest of the team.
Yeah, and it is really like, I mean, I know it's really sounds like funny, but it is really good to see like an Annie like knowing the limits of the AoE, where like you can cast and find the edge for Astro, man.
Yeah, that is an interesting overextension here by the Ablaze support. Way too far forward in the lane. Gets surrounded by 4 people, gets taken down. Now the Herald is going to be summoned. They're going to get this mid tower, and that will ensure Goldbeat switches over to Abstract Chaos for the first time. Here lands the charm onto the Jarvan. The immediate follow-up from Alistar, but it doesn't mean a kill just yet. Here comes the showstopper that Kamakawi Wale takes them somewhere over the rainbow. Will pay for that with his own life, and here comes the re-engage from the other side. Shutdown goes down as well onto JPF after Tibbers has been summoned. And what looked like a great fight for Abstract Chaos just turns into a disaster for them.
Creon just showed up and absolutely melted Kamikaze there right there. The set was full HP and suddenly just a snip and you're gone. You are dead. And it's gonna turn right now, and you can see they're fighting for tier 1.
That is a great hook onto Chicken, who will fall. And here comes the ultimate onto Ash from Asko. He's taking so much damage from tower, though, gets knocked up, dies. Here comes the jump, though. ATM has these resets with the Tristana, and assisted by Crying King, who actually takes the kill himself. They're going to get 2 more for themselves. 11, 6 and kills, and it looks like a big purple worm is in their sights.
Yeah, and like 1500 gold ahead. They're finding Baron, they're finding Lead, and they have 3 dragons. Looking really good for the side of the Ablaze. So absolute kudos to them for finding like a mental reset and to like have this good of a composure and this good of a game despite the circumstances.
Yeah, and let's not forget, they didn't have any bans this game. How good are they?
Yeah, and you can see like this is gonna be really important because this like Baron is a huge EXP influx as well. Like if you look at levels, like Cryon is 1 level ahead of Golem. Annie is 2 levels ahead of the Ahri. The same thing with the Tristana and Ashe. It's looking really good, and these base stats are like what, like 1,000 gold each for like each lane. So like you can factor in the XP as well, and the league is like really big, and like you have. And the thing is, the answers to the engage of Ablaze are weak. Like the Ashe is really vulnerable. Set is being melted by Creon and the Tristana on Autumn.
Yeah.
So like it is really like hard
yet.
to find it. Yeah. Mercury Thread was not enough. Oh.
That looked like it could have been dangerous there, but Chicken is just gonna take away these Razor Beaks. They're trying to set up another Death Brush here, though. The bullets all alone! And they're going to be chased down. The hook forces the flash from Alistar. Not the worst of things with Hex Flash available. Not also not like the most vulnerable target, despite the bullet only being level 9 at this point. Not the tankiest of bulls as of yet. Speaking of tankiness, here comes the Charm immediately onto the flash. Great play from JPF to survive this 2v1.
Yeah, and Annie burned her flash 40 seconds away from the dragon fight. And she didn't get a pick with it, and she doesn't have Tibbers either. This is gonna be really disadvantageous for the side of Blaze. But you can see like Ahri's already angling in, Trundle as well.
This could be a big one. Pillar used, and here comes the Facebreaker. Kenny is against 3. Can he live long enough for the rest of his team to arrive? No, he cannot. Shut down by Kamakawi Wale, and now it looks like APM and Astro will not be able to follow up on that. It's a 5v3 in the bottom side of the map at the moment because Korean King is just pushing up this top lane with the Baron buff, looking for that inner turret already. But Dragon is spawning. It's the Soul Dragon for Ablaze if they get it. And they still have the Baron buff, they still have that Gwen pushing, but their mid laner is dead, so it doesn't look like they can challenge this Dragon. Inner tower does fall. Asko is being engaged on by the bullet. The Dragon has been taken. Now ATM trying to save the support. Blast gun used. Fionkong on the other side is taking the inhibitor turret. And it doesn't look like JPF can save that. Now in a 1v1. Don't think you want a 1v1 Gwen with that big scissors. Stun comes in from Karis with the ultimate though. And the overextension, was it there? No, it was not. Yes, Karis flashes out of the Jarvan ultimate. Can they make the ADC survive? Yes, Alistar is there to support. Pivas gets the kill onto Karis though, even before Progenitor falls. Kenny though, pays for that with his life. And overall, I can say they did go a bit greedy here for that inhibitor. 3 for 1.
They didn't. I just think that they didn't like cancel the recalls in time for the side of Attack Chaos. They were able to find the responses. As you can see, this is the answer for the Gwen, the Ashe. Like you just can't reach her on the Gwen because the kite is permanently. And once the shroud is out, once the shroud is fired, suddenly, yeah, like Gwen has damage, and you know, if like you walk into her into melee range, like she's probably gonna out-duel anyone, but she can't reach an Ashe.
Okay, still 3,500 gold, and they're going to get this turret to close the gold lead to almost just 3,000. 25 minutes into the game, so it's not an insurmountable lead for Abstract Chaos to overcome here, but they still have a kind of uphill battle here against this very clear identity having team fight composition. Now they just have to not overextend like they did before, and they could be walking away with this game 1.
Indeed, and it is gonna be really important now for like the fight, because what is next is the Baron in a minute and 50 seconds. And then you have the Soul, and I think that the Baron is gonna be like the very important fight. And Asko,
Oh, Karis could have been caught here. The ultimate from Nautilus has been used. Here comes Jarvan, and there's no way out of that cooking pot. And they get the pick onto the Ashe. Not late enough to prevent help from Ashe on the Baron. Meanwhile, though, Kriyanking has been caught by a charm. Here comes the face breaker and the showstopper. But so far, everyone has survived. And this engage might have been just too much. The CC is so long lasting. They get some shutdowns here, but in the end, it looks like a winning fight for Ablaze. They're doing so much damage. Great flash from King. Asko hits a minion with the hook, and they still get the 1-for-1 Asko against the top laner in the 1v1. Kamikawill is so low. Gets that double kill for himself, but will fall to Asko. It's an ace for 3. Ablaze come out on top.
yeah, and Creon was absolutely disgusting in that fight. He did an insane amount of damage, and you can see right now Blaze is just finding side lanes, and Ashe is slow on the response.
They
That is gonna be a really
that
big
fight without Annie.
Yeah. And as you can see, like, this is also another big gold influx, and this is really big map control.
Yeah, the lead is exceeding 5,000 gold now, or rather, it is just around 5,000 gold as they find resets for this Baron. Would be a little bit late if they were already fighting for Vision, but even Abstract Chaos is just leaving their base themselves, so the Vision war over this Baron will begin for both teams roughly at the same time. With a 5,000 gold lead, all the odds are favoring Ablaze at the moment.
Yeah, and one of the most important factors here in this Baron fight, Annie still has Flash. Flash Tibbers in this team fight is gonna be really devastating in the side of Abstract Chaos if he can find Karis, who doesn't have a Flash, and Creon.
They're forcing the Spirit Rush already, but Kriyanking doesn't give up. Needlework coming out. Now he's slowed by the Ashe, though. Is he too far forward? It's not looking like the rest of the team is there for backup. Hook goes wide from Asko here. Everybody's still just standing there menacingly for now. A couple ultimates been used for that suspected catch. We have to not forget that in about 45 seconds, the dragon will also spawn, and Ablaze is still on soul point. So they could be stretching Abstract Chaos thin between these two objectives here, but do they go for this Baron early is the question.
I think they have the ability to like start the Baron or start the Baron dance at the very least, but they apparently are just playing it safe. They know that Abstract can kill the Baron in time, so they're just gonna let them like have the top side of the river, and they're gonna easily melt the dragon.
Wait, the bullet is recalling. This would have been a very late recall if he had completed that, because the dragon's spawning in 10 seconds. Alistar has no teleport. Here comes the Flash Tibbers that you mentioned, and it's a one-shot! JPF just dies with that Flash Tibbers engaged. And now the dragon, at the very least, will not be able to be challenged. And they're chasing them away even from the mid lane. They could be looking for a fight here. No, you're standing in between two enemies. Kamaka, we want it. Here comes the Ashe over, and that's an overextension from Kriyanking. The Showstopper isolates him further from his team. They get so much time out of that shroud, but still it's a shutdown for the set. Now Asko is separated from his team as well. The pillar in the way of everything. They get another shutdown here. Now, though, that was too much from the bullet. It's a 2-for-1. And the chase is on with the resets for the Tristana. Kamaka has the Haymaker, but it's just not enough. The Showstopper, but he dies. The shutdown comes, but they paid for that with the ADC's life. Now Karis will get killed by Progenitor. Absolutely the bane of Ashe's existence this game. And they're pushing in the top lane. 2 members alive versus 2, though. They could be looking for this open inhibitor. Annie is extremely strong at this point in the game, as well as the Jarvan. We are going to probably get this inhibitor respawn, still not coming in for around 10 seconds. They're going for the fight. Kenny's being chased. Tibbers has been summoned. The knockup comes in. JPF dies to the ignite. Kenny, though, dies as well. The junglers kill the mid laners. But in that fight between the junglers, there's no doubt who will come out on top. Flash forward from the bullet to try to save the jungler, but it's just not enough, and Progenitor will not stop. Will take this inhibitor 5 seconds before Ashe spawns. They win the fight. They take the inhib. The gold lead still over 5,000. They have the soul. But here comes the teleport behind Jarvan. This could be very bad. He's used the EQ. This face break. It doesn't stun him, but slows him down. Here comes the showstopper, but it's not throwing the very far distance. And Kamaka Rivole might have overextended here. The double. Oh my god, a double knockup followed by the haymaker, but is it enough? It doesn't look like it. The healing is too good. Crime King will get this kill. The stun from the Ash Arrow not doing enough to ensure anything. And they get to kill support and top laner for free. We'll take Baron Nashor as their prize.
And it's been non-stop action for the past 90 seconds. Just straight from Dragon to the angle in the topside jungle, to the inhibitor, and now to the Baron. And we're finally gonna have closure in this really, really intense, like, 2 minutes of back-to-back fighting. It was initially a really good pick by Kenny on JPS. And then they translated that into the soul, and then they tried finding something. Oh,
that's a hook onto Chicken. The pillar not really able to save him much there. Has to flash away as well, but Pure King isn't willing to give this one up. Now, finally the chase is stopped. The Blaze is looking very, very strong with about 8,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, 8,000 gold ahead. A Cloud Soul that is just basically meaning like, oh, like, yeah. Like, Annie and Nautilus are just gonna ult on cooldown. They don't really care. It's basically a basic spell at this rate. And, like, yeah, it was just a really intense fight. And Kama Vivole and Cryon King have been two pivotal points. Like, they're the ones that dictate which side of the game. Like,
that's a great double pulverize there. The Ash Arrow lands on the ignited Jarvan, but they cannot finalize the kill for now. It will force Ablaze away from this inhibitor turret, though. That was a good defense from Abstract Chaos. The question should be, can they do anything with that? Or is the siege just going to continue?
And I think the siege is going to continue because you have good sustain on everyone, and Jarvan is just healing back up in the jungle, just like being there for the Annie. And yeah, it's just gonna be like a typical 1-3-1, but like right now it's just a 0-3-2, just to make sure that the Annie is safe, because Annie is kind of short range compared to like other Swift pushers.
Yeah, and they don't have that enchanted crystal arrow at the moment to find their engages. It's their only long-range engage tool. The only other one being Alistar Headbutt Pulverized, but that does not have the biggest of ranges. And does get weakened by the fact that this Cloud Soul does give movement speed. They had to hook under the tower onto the Ash. Here comes the fallout. They dive this full power. So much damage. The Haymaker decimates the health bar, so, and it might have bitten off more than they can chew. It's already only 3 alive still, but they're making the chase happen. Ari, though, gets good damage with the orb, but there the support falls. It's only Ari and Trundle for now against 3 members on the other side. Was a ballsy engage, but they just slapped them with their wallets. Will take these Nexus turrets, and it's looking like the game is over. Do some more damage onto JPF, trying to pad their steps. Cracking has been ignited, gets taken down, but it doesn't stop the Nexus from falling. Ablaze take game 1 without any bans.
And they have done a really good job, especially Kyrion King. That was such an MVP performance in him. Like in the mid-late fights, like around Baron, around the Cloud, and like around the inhibitor, he has done so much in this game. He's been so pivotal.
Yeah, huge performance from Creon King on that Gwen in the top lane, but also Progenitor on that Jarvan being absolutely nightmare there. It was literally C Ash, Ult Ash for him in the later fights. And yeah, not a fun experience to be an AD carry against an Annie with Flash Up and a Jarvan. So yeah, but despite not having bans, Ablaze take game 1 in this best of 5. And now there's going to be adaptations and draft to be made for the side of Abstract Chaos, because whatever they tried with this composition clearly was not really working.
Yeah, and I just have to say, like, Creon King did really amazing job in this game, but it's not like Kama was any slouch either. He had really standout team fights as well. He was the reason that some team fights were turned to the side of Abstract Chaos. It's just the fact that as a whole, the side of Chaos couldn't really handle or warp the heavy engage of Ablaze into like safety, and like Ablaze just could always bust the gates. They can always find the Ash, find the Ari. So there will be adaptations to be made for sure. Are they gonna be more wary? of like the engage heavy comp that the Blaze is running, or are they just gonna like change the way that they are playing themselves? Like you can change picks like the Ori, you can change the Adastar, you can change the Trundle in the jungle.
Yeah, there's definitely ways to deal with death wall compositions, but in the end, the death wall composition is going to be most likely the one easier to execute. So it is going to put an onus on Abstract Chaos to perform as well as they have in the group stage of the split, to make sure it's them who advances to the final. It's only 1-0 for now. We are in a best of 5, and we are going to step away for 5 minutes so the teams can reassemble. Until then, don't touch your browser. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Division 3's semi-final between Abstract Chaos, again on the blue side for Game 2, and Ablaze, who surprisingly, after not having any bans, took Game 1 for themselves with a strong showing using a death ball composition. Just run at them, press R. I think Karis will have PTSD tomorrow from that, but for now we're in Champ Select for Game 2. I am still Motojo and still joined by Demise. What adaptations do you think Draft will make here, apart from the Gwen ban?
Like better morphing of the Death Ball comp, but it's gonna be really still interesting to see because like Kami Vivoli played like good set. Maybe you change the Trundle. I think like the 2 points where I would change if I was Chaos is I would change like jungle and mid.
Alright,
Like
so no Ari, no Trundle.
yeah.
Apart from the Gwen, anything they should be banning? They banned the Nocturne in Game 1 as well. Gwen, though, was not banned. And Crown King absolutely popped off on that pick, so no surprise on the ban from my side here. Remember, due to using an emergency substitute, Ablaze will not have the first 3 bans in every game from now on, but will have second phase bans available to them. Now let's see what the final ban from the side of Abstract Chaos is. It's the Vi again. They banned that in Game 1 too. Now let's see. With Gwen not available, where the compositions will be going. In Game 1, we had a Trundle first pick, and Demise, you said the Trundle should be going. So what do you think the first pick should be then?
You still have the absolute monstrous power pick of Viego if you like want to match, because like you see Kami Vivoli plays like bruisers, like he played Set, and like Set Viego is really dangerous. It would have been much stronger against like the never mind. They just first picked Ezreal. It seems that they're gonna just morph into more of a longer range comp then.
Yeah. We spoke about things that could be done against deathball compositions, and I think Ezreal is definitely something that can be done here. Has a lot of long range poke, can escape an engage attempt with that E ability. So if you're anticipating a similar comp from the side of Ablaze again, Ezreal definitely not the worst pick to go for, but for now it's looking like there's already changes. No Nautilus, it seems, because Morgana Caitlyn could be the bot lane. That is a very,
Oh,
very dangerous one for Ezreal to deal with.
that is really annoying for the Ezreal to just like even exist in that kind of lane. I mean, then again, it's just Ezreal. Like you can just start here, like just spam your just Mystic shots and like Arcane Shift away from every binding because as with Ezreal, ever since his inception, and there's the Viego.
There we go. The absolute power pick, as you mentioned, in the jungle could be played in the solo lane, but especially since recent patches, mostly a jungler, much stronger from that position on the map.
Yeah, and Ezreal also like if you go Divine Thunder and like you can build like more bruisery items like Frozen Heart, etc. You're pretty like tanky for an AD carry, and Anivia.
Oh, bird is the word for JPF. No more foxes. We are building ice walls today, and the Jarvan returns for the side of Progenitor for Ablaze.
Yeah, and Progenitor just seems to be like, hey, I'm gonna find the one immobile guy. I'm just gonna keep pressing R on that person, and he's not gonna have a very good day. And this
Yeah,
game is gonna probably be JPF. And there you go, second ban phases. You still have top lane open, you still have support open, and you still have support for the side of Chaos. And the Annie ban. Yeah,
yeah.
Annie's actually good into Anivia, so like, that's good.
Yeah, good ban here. Set. So Kamaka, will have to pick a different champion here. The set looked strong in lane, dealt a lot of damage in the fights as well, but just was not quite durable enough against the Annie. The Annie taken off the board now, though. I'm really interested to see what the top laner from Abstract Chaos is going to pick here. Karma taken off the board. Ezreal Karma, of course, a very strong lane.
Yeah, and what is
Caitlyn
gonna be the final pinch here? Is it gonna be top or is it gonna be mid?
We'll have to see here. Both solo lanes still available. I'm interested to see what they are going to be blind picking. Silas is the ban here. This could hint at something with a very strong ultimate still coming. Because Ezreal, Viego, and Anivia are not really the champions that have ultimates that Silas wants to steal.
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe they're just banning the Silas in anticipation to one of their picks. And
Oh,
there's the Oriana. That's a good response into Anivia. You maintain like basically the like equality with Anivia throughout the laning phase, and then you have like the big combo with like the Jarvan Shockwave.
yeah, Jarvan Oriana really potent in the 2v2 skirmishes and also in team fights. Just put them all on Jarvan, jump in, use the shockwave, and mop up the rest with Caitlyn auto attacks, I guess. And let's see, the On is the top lane pick, so Kamaka Wiwole will be on a big beefy tank. Speaking of which, Braum is a support pick as well. Not the highest damage composition from the side of Abstract Chaos, but a very tanky one. Could work well against that Caitlyn and Oriana damage from the backline.
Yeah, and one that has multiple layers of CC as well.
Yeah,
Like
this
we're
time,
talking
this
about
time
the
they have enough engage.
yeah, but the thing is, oh,
Ooh,
oh,
throwing down the gauntlet. Camille for the top lane. Side lane is the name of the game here for Crying King in this one. He's going to be piloting that against Kamakawi Wallace. Orin. And with the compositions locked once again, I'm going to give it over to you, Demise. Give me a prediction. How is this game going to go?
well, bot lane, assuming that Asco and Autumn are gonna do well enough in the lane not to have any major blunders to give over anything to the Bullet and Karis, should be just an easy like prio. You have everything in the control. They have the autonomy of the lane. The lanes that are gonna be more volatile are gonna be like top and mid because it depends like how good is Kama on the Ornn and how good is Cryon on Camille. Likewise for in the mid lane. Like this is a really even matchup. You can have like there'll probably be like skirmishes around the early scuttle crabs. It's like in all lanes other than bot, because bot is gonna have prio. So like the 2v2 or the 3v3 where like top mid jungle are the ones that are contending each other is gonna be really important early on, because eventually Camille is just gonna like make the Ornn feel like paper.
True. If you have a Cho'Gath ultimate on your queue, you're going to deal a lot of damage to tanks.
Yeah. And the thing here is it's like as far as this track is gonna go, like they're really like, hey, we're gonna have Anivia to control terrain to make sure that like our like mid range fights are not really just ran down through. But then also you have like Brom, Ornn, Viego, which are really like competent fighters. And if Viego gets a reset in that fight, like if Viego can get like a possession, say a Jarvan or a Camille, it is gonna be a nightmare situation on the side of a Blaze. So like this time, Viego is gonna have to have a lot of resources like devoted into him and setting up fights for him, which is kinda easy, like considering like Anivia Ezreal has like good poke. They also have like some sort of CC in the Braum and the Anivia stun and the Ornn ultimate. So it's all gonna ride, at least in the team fights, on Viego finding like leads and finding possessions. But the game looks really even early on. Like it's all like the only lane that sounds volatile is probably top lane.
Yeah. What I like about both of these comps, though, is that they really have their strong points at most points in the game, right? Sure, maybe in the very early game, a Blazes comp doesn't do all too much, but they have the Jarvan there to ensure we can get to a mid game where the Camille and the Orianna can start popping off. And of course, you have the late game insurance with Jarvan and Camille. You have two ways for the ball to be delivered exactly the way you want it to be to try and win fights with a big shot wave and then Caitlyn just running a mark from the backline. On the other side, of course, you have stable lanes. Ezreal Braum is going to be pushed in, but it's going to be hard to dive them, especially when the threat of a Viego coming around the corner is always there. And when you look at late game insurances, Viego, Anivia, and of course the ornaments helping Ezreal's damage out a lot. And there's no extreme tank on the other side, so only having two major damage threats in case the Viego builds tanky isn't going to hurt them as much as if there was like a Mundo and the Nautilus on the other side of the round.
Yeah, and even that, like even if there was a Mundo, you still have a Camille. Like yeah, like eventually, like just with Sunderer and like enough items, Camille just like makes tanks feel sad in their current state. So it's gonna be really interesting because this is the game that has the invade potential. This is the one game that an invade can just snowball the game out of control. And we've seen something like that from the side of a Blaze in game one, which is they just ran mid and burned the flash of JPF. So I'm being really interested to see if they're like, hey, we got this. Like we had mental edge game one.
Yeah, the Welcome to America level 1 5 stack in the mid lane is what they tried. They did get the flash with that and made the early game for JPF a lot more difficult. This time he's not on a champion with an escape ultimate either. So this could be even more potent. As we are in the loading screen, we see most of the usual keystone runes here. Morgana on Guardian is not something I've seen in a while, though.
Yeah, I just think that Morgana is anticipating like ganks, realms, or like a 2v2. And while Airy is good on Morgana, at the end of the day, I don't think that like the shielding power is worthwhile in the enemy team comp, because like they have Viego, they have Anivia, they have Ezreal. They're gonna burn through the Airy shield either way. Like they have consistent damage. They have a lot of sustained damage. The Airy shield isn't gonna be the important thing. The important thing is like if like you're in a 2v2 and like there's a stun that is hit on the Caitlyn, you can like get the Guardian proc, get the big shield at that one instance, and then like try to find a way out for the Caitlyn.
All right, we are on Summoner's Rift as we are about to pause to synchronize with production. The game is going to be underway very soon. Yep.
Yep.
And we're live on Summoner's Rift. It's game 2 between Ablaze on the red side, we are having on our screen right now, and Abstract Chaos on the blue side. Ablaze lead 1-0 in this best of 5 series. And it's looking like they're stacking together once again. They're going for the bot lane invade this time.
Yeah, and this can be really volatile because if something happens for one of these lanes,
30 seconds
it can
until
just
minions
sway the
spawn.
game. Could hit it with a 180. Oh,
Karis, slow on the reaction, gets hit by the Morgana Q, and everybody's here. The Ignite's piled on. First blood, exactly where you want it on ATM and that Caitlyn. This is going to be a nightmare of a lane now for Karis.
yeah, and I'm actually really interested in one thing right here in this matchup. You can see like a Sapphire Crystal start on the side of
Minions have
Orianna, which can
spawned.
indicate like the LS like cheater recall with like futures market where you get the like last chapter in like 6 wave I think, or like 7 waves if I remember correctly. And you can see comma Vivole and
Uh-oh.
Chicken.
They're looking for an invade of their own. They will see Camille right now. They're gonna go for it. No, they're just going to go for the blue stick. Camille is spotting it though. Crying King knows what is happening. Cannot do much against it though. On the other side, blue buff is being taken by Progenitor. He's probably going to roam down to the enemy red buff himself. So it's just going to be vertical jungling for both of them. For now.
Yeah, and vertical jungling in this situation I think is more beneficial to the Viego. Because he's the one that has the own lane and the Nivea that can have better like setup for his ganks.
That was another Dark Binding landing onto Karis. This time no follow-up, but this Caitlyn with the longsword level 1 is going to be so tough to deal with.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch the CS in that bot lane very closely, because I suspect ATM can amass quite the lead. Oh, that's a stun of Progenitor who skanked the mid lane, forces the flash either way though. Takes some good damage in return after that cheesy level 2 gank. Just buffs cleared so far, while Viego has done the chickens as well on the other side before taking his own blue buff.
And you can see like absolute prio in the bot lane, and especially with the longsword, like the headshots are gonna be even more annoying than they should have been, like levels like 1 through 6.
Yeah.
And lanes are just fairly standard aside from that one initial kill. Oh.
Good knockout from Kamaka Wiwole. Gets so much damage on Kriyan King, 300 HP only. The wave is pushing onto him, he should be fairly safe unless he gets hit by another searing charge.
Yeah, and this is the volatile time for Camille. Like from here until she gets the Sheen, and then she gains some sort of clarity, and then like Ornn with his passive like gets advantages again with the items he's buy throughout the lane until he gets Thunder, and once he gets Thunder he can like stand the foot. I'm kind of surprised though that like Camille didn't go for Conquer in this matchup instead of Grasp, because you're usually gonna go for like really long trades against an Ornn.
I guess for early survivability is what I would assume here. Because Conqueror will not heal you up as early as Grasp. Just for that extra early safety. You're going to be strong in the late game anyway, but meanwhile, Wall just barely not able to trap Kenny. So he will be walking away from that gank fairly easily. Cranking has teleported back to the top lane, teleport disadvantage still down in CS. Kamaka Wiwole is making his life a little more difficult in that top lane right now. But he is going to be running out of mana. Oh no, the Dark Binding is landing on Viego. Here is Torben, gets the knockup. Chicken flashes away, flash behind, one more auto. Will make sure Asko's Ignite gets that kill. Second kill of the game to Ablaze. Meanwhile, the top laners are duking out. Kamaka Wiwole does not have any mana left. And will not be able to fight Kriyan King on even terms right now. Trying to shove this wave in desperately.
Yeah, and the shove is not good either because he's still gonna miss a wave.
Yeah, there comes the next wave. Lane will be frozen in a really disadvantageous point in the lane for him. He will be forced to use his own teleport back to lane unless he wants to fall quite a way behind.
Yeah, one of the most interesting things right now in the game is like how good Karis and the Bullet has been handling the off lane. Like, yeah, they're gonna eventually be behind what 4 or 5 CS, and that is nothing considering the circumstances of the lane.
Yeah, considering the longsword start for Caitlyn, to be fair, do think they will outlast them in that first stint and could get a small lead with the first recall, but still, this is really big here. Karis doing really well on the Ezreal so far. And here is Chicken for support. But Kenny roaming down. Look at your minimap. Kenny is coming from behind. Astro, meanwhile, takes a lot of damage here. One stack of the concussing blows on him. 300 HP. They could be catching this Viego here. Jarvan and Orianna are both there. Chicken is walking right down. Gets hit by the Dark Binding. Asker has been on point with these. Kenny gets the credit of the kill. And here comes the reinforcement. Ignite had been on, and here come the flashes forward. Progenitor gets the kill onto Bullet, and it's 4-0 on the chart.
And once again, what is the common factor in all 4 of these kills? Progenitor. Yeah, and Dark Binding. True. Like, Asko and the Jarvan, like Asko and Progenitor has been everywhere in this game. Like you can see, they got the kills in mid lane, they got the kills in bot, they got 2 kills on Viego, who is kind of stunted right now, which is really unfortunate for the side of Chaos, because that is supposed to be your primary carry moving into your mid game. But then again, it's Viego. If you can get it possessed, it doesn't matter because he gets the item and the stats of the other champion gives them.
Tactical intent, we could call it. But look at your top lane here. This is very interesting. So, Kamakawi Wale forced Creon King back for an early teleport. Did not teleport back to lane himself after being forced out himself, and now he's 10 CS down.
Yeah, and it was just the result of, I would say, a slower shove on the cannon wave a minute ago. Yeah, he didn't have sufficient mana. And he walked back to lane, he saved TP.
Maybe he's anticipating to use it very soon, but the dragon is only spawning in 4 minutes. He could have easily just used the teleport to get to lane and have the teleport back available for an eventual early dragon fight. But didn't use the TP, and now he's going to be behind against this Camille. Going to be a really tough one from now on. And Progenitor is around. They could try a dive on this Ornn, who is on half HP. But does have the Call of the Forge God available, making this a lot more difficult than it could be.
Indeed, and like so far that is the most surprising lane. Like Viego is just kind of unfortunate, but he's like being caught off in a lucky situation. Oh, there comes the TP.
Yeah, there is the teleport. This is what they were looking for. It's a double TP. The Anivia is there as well, but Atieme and Asker already under their turret. Unless they are trying to do a 5-man dive here, they've wasted a lot of summoner spells just to get there. They do not look like they're going for the dive though. Wasting just 2 teleports here, I think. Not any summoners forced either from the bot lane of Ablaze. They are hanging around the bot side. They could still be going for this dive. The push is pretty slow, and meanwhile the Rift Herald has been started by Progenitor with a little help from Penny. Makes the blue buff and has been spotted.
Yeah, and I would say as a whole, this should be a winning line for the side of Ablaze. You get the Herald, you put it in the Camille gets huge.
Yeah.
If you get that kind of gold influx.
Oh, this could be low life on JPF, forced to use the flash because that ball would have taken him into the egg.
Come on.
Does he not know how Ornn works?
He tried to steal it. Let's just give him the credits for trying.
Yeah, but you can't dash the walls with Ornn.
Yeah, I know. What? Yeah, and I'll be interested. Are they gonna put the Herald into Creon, or are they gonna put him into Kenny? So far, the Jarvan is hovering mid lane.
Yeah, but they gotta put the Herald top, don't they? Like, Camille is like their biggest win option right now. Also, already 30 CS ahead. They get this Camille even more ahead. He's gonna be unkillable in the side. And here comes the stun on to Kamakawi Wale. 400 HP and a bit. Jarvan not around for any dives. He's taking a lot of minion damage. Look at this. Once Creon King has the hook shot available again, this could be lethal with the ultimate available, able to dodge some CC. So far they're coming for it. Progenitor is there.
Glaive is being pushed in.
Suspense before the storm. Get the knock up, get the dunk! And he might be unstoppable for a short moment. Progenitor forced to flash here to avoid dying to the tower and to secure the kill credit. Crime King not even getting the assist here. That was a solo kill for Progenitor under the enemy tower. They summon the Herald. They're going to get a bunch of plates here already, and Crime King can just keep pushing. Kamakawiwola has no teleport. They're sending JPF up for some assistance, and that does mean they're back off.
Yeah, and it's not anything more than 2 plates, but they push the Anivia out back into top lane. So chicken.
Good attack onto Asko, but he does have the Black Shield available. Gets broken by the knocker, but now Braum is locked in the soup. Here comes the ultimate from Caitlyn. He just barely survives it, but Crime King has teleported down and gets the kill. Chicken trying to get out here. Here comes the Hex Tech ultimatum. Can they defend this? They cannot. They will have the Viego fall under tower. Reinforcements are here. There comes Oriana. Karis has absolutely no way out and will fall to Kenny. Oh no, Crime King gets the heal and lives. Well executed dive. It's 8-0 in kills here. Can they get anything in return? Kenny gets walled off, has to flash away, gets shut down by JPF. Good play from the mid laner from Abstract Chaos with the Frog and cosplay here, but it's still 1-8 in kills. They're over 4,000 gold behind. It's looking grim.
Yeah, and that is the second dragon. Once again, it's either Cloud or a Mountain for the soul. And if this is a Mountain soul, this game is... it is a Mountain soul.
It is a Mountain soul.
This game is gonna be really grim for the side of Abstract Chaos, because right now, like, your condition of getting Viego to get possessions, Viego isn't even on his mythic. Meanwhile, look, like, everyone on the side of Ablaze, aside from the Morgana, is on their mythic.
Yeah, and Asko
There is not
has...
a single mythic on the side of Chaos right now.
And Asko has been popping off. 2-0-5 on the Morgana, almost full kill participation. These Dark Bindings have been absolutely on point.
Indeed, and you can see like Thunder on Camille, and they haven't even completed the Ninja Tabais on the Ornn. I don't think he has any chance to send the death lane any further.
Yeah, this tower is not going to not for this world for long, I think, the top lane.
Yeah, it just feels really bad if you're like the Viego in this situation.
Stun onto ATM, but the Black Shield preventing quite a lot of the damage from that Glacial Storm. Meanwhile, Karis in the bot lane against Kenny by his Lonely. And we are in a little bit of a lull state here at the moment.
Yeah,
Autumn forced to flash. JPF popping off, no pun intended. Here comes the engage, though Jarmo has been used. Here comes the ace now. JPF is struggling against the wall. Will be forced into the egg, but here comes the return. Shockwave saves them. Actually, Progenitor will not for themselves already. The egg cannot save Anivia either. It's 3-0 in the mid lane for Ablaze. 11-1, 5,000 gold. And they're going to do so much damage to this tower as well. This is a stomp so far.
This has the domination on the side of Ablaze, and it just feels as if like Abstract Chaos right now are like mentally stressed. Like this was way too forced. Yes, it was close, but you can tell even if like you get a kill and you get like a single possession with Viego, there was nothing you're gonna do there. There was no miracle play angle.
Yeah, the shot
and,
wave.
Like you can look like 0-4 Viego right now. This is like the saddest Viego you're ever gonna see like in this series.
Yeah, and you know who's extremely happy right now? Caitlyn. Gets so many turret plates. They're gonna get the tower as well. Dark Mining lands onto Anivia, who does not have the egg. So already a lethal threat. One more wave and this tower is going to fall. Very, very lightly. They're going to try their luck onto Kenny now in the 2v1. Kenny is pretty strong himself though.
Yeah, pretty healthy, pretty standard laning. Nobody is threatened on the side of Blaze right now. And the item advantage is just super big right now.
Yeah, but Caitlyn just does what she wants. Has the red buff as well. I think that they mentioned... Oh, that's a good one here. The 90 caliber net just barely missing JPF there. If that lands, that headshot plus ace in the hole is probably a kill. So good on JPF for avoiding that Astro. It's walled off, dodges the stun, has no more mana. Here comes the Braum. Caitlyn is there though. The Braum ulti goes absolutely wide. Asco flashes away from the concussive blows. Gets stunned up either way. Ignite is still ticking, but it's looking like they're going to survive that one. Caitlyn was also stunned up for a short time, but not quite able to finish any kills here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and
here's Jarvan, flash jump, kill! Progenitors on a rampage. That one, with all the summoners available against no summoners on the other side, felt easy.
Yeah, and this game right now is just an easy mode, like you can see. I'm sorry for Chaos, but like, this game has been blown out of the gate. They have no chance, aside from like an absolute miracle possession out of the Viego that turns the game on its head. But you can, like, Camille is really comfortable denying like Ornn all the farm and just like pulling him around on the top side. Caitlyn is never gonna be threatened by like anyone in this team. Like there's a huge item there.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
a 4 DCS lead in the top lane. And Drunken is just doing whatever the damn hell he wants. And Kamaka Wiwole perpetually actually in threat of being dove, right? So he has to recall here, even though reinforcements from his team are coming. He's gonna send a mid lane probably, but what can he really do against Caitlyn and Morgana pushing there?
Yeah, and he sent Viego and Nivea top side. They don't have TP. Now
here come the tethered chains. They're going to stun him up, and here come the traps, and here comes the kill. ATM and Asco with the 2v1 kill. That looked easy. The bullet caught warding there, and now they're 5v4 on the map. The dragon is alive. They're going to get to soul point in 16 minutes and a bit.
Yeah, and it is like, it will be like 22, probably a 22-minute soul point. And that is just really threatening because there is no way Abstract Chaos is gonna reach like item breakpoints that make them even capable of contesting. Just the game looks pretty doomed right now. Like if we ask anyone to tell you the game is over, and like comma.
Yeah, like barring a massive throw, the thing we have to look for now in this game is not really who wins, because it looks like a foregone conclusion at this point. It's how clean can Ablaze finish this game, right? How good are they at closing out with the lead they have? Shockwave goes wide, force flash though.
Yeah,
and the heal. Oh no.
Yeah. Ah, chicken. Ah, poor Viego, man. They didn't find a single possession the whole game.
Asco could be caught here, but looks fairly safe here. And here comes the hookshot over the wall. They're fancying their chances in this 2v2, but Caitlyn is very close. The Aether Hole already has gotten a lot of damage out, and they're forcing them out of their own jungle here. Ablaze just running the map with their 9,000 gold lead at 18 minutes.
Yeah, you can just look at the fact, like 9,000 gold into like an 18-minute game that still have like tier 1s in both of the side lanes and the mid lane. There's still a lot of gold to be had.
Wait, what was that?
I think it was the top lane.
Did he miss the second proc on the ultimate? Looks like it. Here comes the Hawkshot, Black Shield on Creon King. It's a 4v2 though, so they're backing off for now, even though Jarvan's coming. But not really sure what that Arnold was accomplishing there.
It could be a misclick, to be honest. Or he could have been like threatened by the Camille diving.
Yeah, maybe he got stunned. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, this game though is like been like driven home by Ablaze. They're just taking the game, they're taking ultimate summoners, they're not giving that much in return.
Yeah, they're stealing jungle camps. I would like them to do something before this next dragon spawns in 3 minutes though. Like at the moment they're just not doing much, they're just farming a bunch of waves. They did get the Ezreal summoners, that was big. Here comes the play though. Herald has been summoned to the bot lane, this tower will die to it, as if they were listening to me. And they're gonna get this tower very, very easily on the recall timer in the mid lane though. So I don't think they're going to pursue anything more in this bot lane for the moment. They're stopping some recalls here. Just making sure tempo stays on their side.
Even as Ezreal, you should be pretty threatened of this.
Yeah. If Jarvan jumps in with a ball on his head, Shockwave is available, he's just dead.
Oh. Maybe a little overzealous? Overzealous.
We're going with overzealous, not a zoning ult.
Yeah. So like you can see, like there's a 40 CS lead in top, like a 30 CS in mid, 30 in like bot lane and like 4 kills at 0-4 Viego. Like just
Diego's ahead
bad.
in CS though. He's got 2 camps. Winning.
Winning. Silver lining.
Silver linings, yeah. These balls hurt so much. Title of your sex tape, I guess. And here comes another attempt from JPF to trap Asco. But at this point in the game, this Morgana is probably stronger than the Anivia by her lonesome. Look, there's Karn King bullying Hamakawi Wole under his own turret. Surprisingly though, the turret is still alive, Ornn proving to have decent enough wave clear to keep at least that one standing.
For now though, he's being drained of a lot of HP, and if Crayon wants to, he can dive. He can just like Hextech ultimatum the Call of the Forge God.
Yeah,
just
he needs good
if he
timing
wants.
though.
Yeah. Okay, that's one of the bigger abilities used out.
Why doesn't he just attack? Sorry. Oh, here comes a knock up.
Oh, there comes a knockup. That is.
No more minions.
Yeah.
Has to try again. This time Kamakawi Wole is going to be recalling though. So it does seem like they're abandoning the turret with 50 seconds until this dragon spawns. Recall is understandable. It is a soul dragon already for the side of Ablaze. And with how far they're ahead in this game, they could just slap Abstract Chaos with their wallets at this point to win this fight.
They can just Baron and close the game within like 4 minutes from now, if they want to. But they seem like they're playing it respectively. They don't want the Viego to get too far ahead. They're not like pushing lanes too hard. And that's okay, but you have enough of a lead to like, just say, you know what, we're gonna take like a 4v3v4 and we're still gonna win it because like we're 9 people ahead.
Yeah. Can they even challenge this dragon? I think unless they find a pick somewhere, they're not gonna. But they're being picked instead. Iron King goes absolutely ham. Ace in the hole will be blocked by Braum. Can they get the kill on the chicken? No, they cannot. Dragon forced to flash away, forced to hook shot away. Shockwave hits 2 and kills 1. And now Karis is forced to flash and heal away. Asco is doing so much work by himself, even this thanks to the heal. And here comes Camille. They're coming back. They're chasing them. Progenitor is unstoppable. The flashes forward. They're going to get the double kill onto him, killing the mid laner as well. 3-0. Dragon Soul picked up. And they're going to get the Baron as well, I think. Unless they just want to push in.
Yeah, and it wasn't the cleanest of executions. Like, Creon got like a little bit overextended, so did Asco. But at the end of the day, they played it well enough with their gold lead.
Yeah. Who needs resistances when you have fat stacks of cash in your pockets? And they're going to push down this mid lane here. They're looking for the 3v2 dive, actually. While Caitlyn and Orianna are taking down turrets in the side lanes. They're going for the turret, but the minions are running out. Progenitor gets stunned up here. They could find their pick. And there's
it went to the orange.
Kamakawi Wole is on the board. 1-1-0 on the Ornn. His game alone looks a lot less doomed than the entire game, but it's still 12,000 gold behind against a Dragon Soul without any dragons of their own.
Yeah, how huge would it have been if it would have been on the Viego? Really unfortunate for the side of Chaos. Like, this game just seems like nothing is going for them. Really. They're trying to sneak a Baron though.
The Desperation has kicked in. But it does look like they're abandoning it. Seeing a disconnect here for Chicken, so we're pausing until the player reconnects. Should just be a short time. But yeah, proactively, I don't think there's much they can do. They just have to hope a Blaze throw, right?
I mean, the one thing that they can like really try to do, which should theoretically be impossible, but the thing they can do is like, hey, we have Anivia, we have Ornn, we have Ezreal. We can like stall the game for like another 10-15 minutes. But then what? 5 minutes from now, actually not even 5, it's like 4.5 minutes. There's Elder.
Yeah.
And that is just gonna be like absolutely devastating for the side of Abstract Chaos. They lose that, and they will probably lose that.
A summoner has disconnected.
Yeah, also, if Baron isn't taken until then, once Ablaze has picked up the dragon, the Elder Dragon, you cannot challenge them for the Baron. So it's just going to get the Baron as well. And with double Uber buffs, I don't see any way, even with Anivia, to defend the base.
Yeah, and this game is just really sad for the side of Chaos. I hope that they can like mental reset. They have the potential. Like, Like you can
Yeah,
see, like Kama, like on the set was doing really well. Chicken was doing like
A
okay
summoner
in
has
game one, but game two
reconnected.
hasn't been really his best. But like yeah, as a whole, like if they can like get over this game, they have the ability to like threaten a reverse sweep.
yeah.
Like you
I
can
mean,
see how
I've
those
seen a
games
fair share of reverse sweeps in my day casting for this league, so I'm always hyped if these things happen. But for now, I think they have to mentally, they have to stay in this game because a throw can always happen, right? These are
Yeah.
not professional players. We are in an amateur league. Throws happen. People do things that are not ideal,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not really any proactive thing they can do. They have to sit back and hope for the throw, and already kind of prepare for what they need to change for the rest of the series. Because if expectedly they lose this, they're completely with their backs to the wall, as you said.
Yeah. It just really sucked the fact that Viego was the one that was set back the most. Like
A summoner
if
has
we can like
disconnected.
reverse the scoreline of Ornn and Viego in this game, I would have said, oh, like there's like this tiny glimmer of hope.
Yeah, I agree. But he got
But
bullied
like,
in the jungle so early
yeah,
by Azko roaming up to the chickens where they got their first kill on him. And it's not gotten better since then for him.
yeah, he just gotten like bullied around early on. And Viego in this kind of comp that they're trying to running on the side of Abstract Chaos
A
cannot
summoner
be
has
that far
disconnected.
behind. And like you can, and they have had like a fair few plays or like attempts in like the 10-15 minute mark on the side of Abstract Chaos that just looked kind of desperate. So I really hope that they can stay in the series, if not the game at least.
Yeah, just keep your head up. Every game is a new game. And they have shown by winning Division 3A that they are a really good team. They know how to play this game. They have had really great moments so far. The split went 5-1, obviously in series, and they were the favorites before today, right? No bans in the first phase at all for Ablaze. No bans
Hmm.
at all, completely in the first game. But still, so far Ablaze look more coordinated, and they look like they have come into this series with more of a game plan, despite having to use emergency substitute. Of course, ADC is the role where an emergency substitute probably can move in easiest.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, ADC is mostly a plug and play role, if I may say so myself. Like the only main difference, like, can you play mages or like can you like bring a weird off meta pick? But that doesn't seem to be the style that the Blaze goes with. So it really doesn't matter. Yes, synergy matters a bit, in, like the laning phase prowess. But this game, they kind of circumvented that with the early kill that they've gotten, and they just been running with the game ever since.
Yeah, and also I think in Champ Select, they kind of outplayed them in Champ Select already with securing the Caitlyn Morgana early against this Ezreal first pick. Like, well, realistically, what is Ezreal going to do in lane against these two, ever? Right,
Yeah,
no matter
nothing.
what your support
Yeah.
is. And then they banned the Karma in the second phase as well. Where Karma would probably be the one support that you could give Ezreal that has any kind of chance to keep the lane not permanently pushing.
Hmm.
But they ban it away in second phase. They secure themselves two ball delivery systems for top and jungle, and just really solid drafting from them. They know what they want to do, and they're executing. 12,000 gold ahead of 24 minutes speaks its own language.
Yeah, I think it's almost 12,000 gold and like five
It's
turrets to
actually more than
zero.
12,000. 12 and a
Yeah.
half almost.
So like it is just really like really well played by the side of Blaze, like from draft into game. Like they know their game plan. They have practiced the execution. You can see like, especially jungle influence. Like they know how to like set up for their jungler pretty much, and that is one of the most important thing like an amateur league like that, where, as we've
Yeah.
said, like not everybody is like hyper aware. So like sometimes mistakes can happen, and junglers are really like the best opportunistic role in the game.
Yeah. What I think they, and by they I mean Abstract Chaos here, need to change for the rest of the series, though, is they probably need to pick a jungler that can have more impact in the early game. Sure, Viego can have his moments in the early skirmishes, but it's going to be really rough in the early game if you pair him with an Anivia against a Jav Orianna, right? With for the mid lane 2v2, for example.
Yeah.
Especially when the other team also has a pushing bot lane where the support can roam easily. And similarly in the first game, yeah, Trundle can do quite a lot of things with the pillar. They had a lot of CC set up for him, but he's also more of a jungler that sits around the jungle farming and hopes for good counter ganks. They need to find some sort of proactivity for themselves if they want to turn this series around. And there are definitely junglers available to do that. You mentioned the Xin Zhao before game one. There's also Lee Sin. There's definitely options, right?
Yeah, I think like if Viego wasn't your forte in this situation, Diana would have been a really good option in the jungle as well.
True. Yeah.
Like especially against a team like that, where like you're gonna have like you're gonna have only one black shield end of the day. So if like you get like all three backline members like Ori, Caitlyn, and Morg, if you just get a three-man moonfall on them, that is absolutely enormous. Because then you have the follow-up is like called the First God. You have Brahms Glacier Fissure, and like yeah, like you can do things. I just think that probably is like a lack of competence on Viego on the side, or like lack of practice as a whole, like on the team. Because at the end of the day, it was like Asco roaming that ruined the day for the Viego. They couldn't like handle roaming supports as well as they should have on the side of Abstract Chaos.
Yeah, and that also was a story in the first game, right? Nautilus was spending a lot of time between mid and bot lane, and the Morgana obviously did that too this game. And look at also the vision in the bot side of the jungle in the southern quadrant. A lot of red wards, a lot of red little dots that give some vision. They know it just highlights once again. Ablaze has been knowing what they want to do, and came in with a much clearer plan for the series.
Mm-hmm.
At least that is apparently the case for the first two games. Now, the onus will be on Abstract Chaos to find a plan of their own that they want to execute, or have a defensive plan against what the other side will do. Finding a pushing bot lane could be a really good thing to do, or as mentioned earlier, a much more proactive jungler, or maybe both of these things, because a pushing bot lane is so huge in this meta right now.
Yeah, the specific answer itself, like there. Okay, so like the problem for Abstract Chaos this game has been the fact that Progenitorily has been like roaming really heavily. He's been like influencing really heavily in the jungle. And then Asco is capable of roaming and Autumn is able to like survive on his own, right?
Yeah, Caitlyn
So
is long
then you
range.
yeah, so then you have like two-man roaming. Like you have the support and jungle moving together, influencing lanes. There are many answers to that. Like you can pick a lane in bot that just like demands the support to be there, or else like the AD carry is not gonna have a good day. You can you can play around jungle. You can have a better mid jungle synergy. Like there are multiple answers to like strong early game jungle and like roaming support.
Yeah.
It just depends on like which one is the one that you are most like comfortable and capable with.
Yeah. Also, if we're going for bot lane priority, there still is the option to just ban the Caitlyn like they did in game one. It did look like Gwen was a necessary ban after game one, but looking at Kriyan King on this Camille in game two, I don't think you can outban this man. Just let him have the Gwen ban the Caitlyn. At least you have a chance to have a pushing bot lane then.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like Creon against Kamikavole, you just like let the two of them like play bruisers. Like the orange showing has been less than what the set has been for like Kamikavole. So like just give him the set, let the two guys like play their bruisers, accept the fact that Creon is gonna have an impact in the game, and just find your resources elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree. JPF has looked decent in lane in game one. Now he's quite behind, of course, but if your whole team is this behind, it is difficult to find the spots to find all the waves that you need for your farm. But he looked much more comfortable on something more proactive like the Ari, where he can actively look for engages himself, right? On Anivia, you kind of sure in like 2v2 situations you can try to look for these Qs to stun people and then do a ton of damage. The Flash Frost, of course, has huge damage potential. But on the Ari, you can jump in yourself. You can find you can find angles for your own engages, and there is, of course, quite a few other mid laners that could be used for that end. For example, if you go AD, you have Irelia. You could play the Viego yourself. And
I was surprised that the Blanc wasn't paired with the Viego.
Oh yeah, true. That is also a very good pick. If you're looking for your own engages as your mid laner, and
like
the
LeBlanc sounds
potential is
answer.
obviously huge.
LeBlanc sounds like a really good answer to everything that Blaze is doing. Like, you're safe if the support is roaming. You're safe from the jungler as well with like your distortion. You have CC set up for the Viego. I just think it would have been like, I don't like control mage mid in the current team comp of the side of Chaos. Yeah, I understand you think, oh, we need wave clear. We don't have any wave clear in the comp, but you get Anivia. Like, what other value does Anivia add to the comp other than wave clear? Like,
I mean, to be fair, the Anivia wall can be a great tool to catch people out together with a Viego, or can be something that the On can dash into to knock people up. And it's looking like we are going back to live, ladies and gentlemen. The pause issues seem to have been solved. A ready check has been asked. The teams are about to play again. Now the question is, are they going to try to continue to sneak this Baron? Probably not, but we're about to see.
Yeah, considering the proximity of members of Blaze, I don't think they will. And they were backing off even before the pause. So I don't think that they're gonna like pursue the Baron sneak right there.
Right, everybody's ready. We're about to unpause, ladies and gentlemen. As a reminder, Ablaze are leading the series 1-0. It is a best-of-5 series, so even if they secure the win that they are currently looking to be getting with their 12,500 gold lead, we are at least going to have one more game, and of course there's always the possibility of a reverse sweep. And I, for one, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of this series that we're about to experience. And here we go. Yeah, they're live, and they're going for it. Does look like Ablaze are aware, but this Baron is melting pretty quickly. Darwin's still in base. They could actually get this. On has been sounded just as a defensive measure. Kamina's there. Kamina's knocked up. Krionkin, can he do anything? It's looking good. He gets a kill, but they get the Baron. It's a 2-for-0, but the Baron has been picked up by Abstract Chaos. Cost them their top laner and their support, and the chase could be on. Here comes Kenny. They have a lot of movement speed for this Camille. Here comes the hook shot, but they're already far enough away thanks to the efforts of JPF walling and slowing the enemy team. They close, quote-unquote, the goal lead to around 11,000, but now they have to defend against the 50-50 Here comes the Dark Binding from downtown! Ace Null not quite enough, so Creon King puts up and gets the kill himself, and that was just careless by Karis.
Yeah, and Asko was just not missing the beat. Like, he's been roaming, so even throughout mid and late game, he's been having clutch bindings and clutch black shields throughout the game so far.
Yeah, 19-2 in kills, still an absence shot. Another Dark Binding lands onto the bullet, no way out. Autumn is on a killing spree. And they can only defend one lane with the Anivia, even though they have the Baron buff, and here could be the dive. Astro is tanking a bunch of tower shots just for good measure. Brian King is walking into the base, took it over the tower falls, here comes Jarvan! One shot onto JPF, the Anivia is a dead piece of ice, and they're pushing into the base. This is just a matter of time now, they've taken one inhibitor already. They're waiting for the minions in the mid lane. They're just doing in the base whatever the damn hell they want. Crownking gets so much damage on the Karis. Ignite is on, and they get the kill. Cronking's on a rampage himself now. 4-0-8 on the Camille. Camille tries to do anything he can. They get the shutdown. He has one reset on the Viego. Can they pull off this? They get another knockout. Crownking will fall. The concussive blows kill him. Triple kill for the Viego, and they keep chasing. It's a quarter kill. What the hell happened? Chicken's absolutely popping off.
It is the miracle play right there.
The
Oh,
absolute
okay.
miraculous defense, and he wants that penta. He is on the chase, but it doesn't look like they're gonna get it.
Yeah, but that was absolutely enormous from Chicken. Finally, he gets to possess, and you can see once Viego goes there, he just rolled over. He got the Morgana, then he got Oleana, then he got the Camille, and the Camille was just enormous. Like, that is just like really like the strength of the comp with Abstract Chaos. It's a little bit too late, especially considering the gold difference. But that is just like, hey, this is a sign of what this comp is capable of doing. Like, imagine if they were an even footing and like possessors were like much easier to attain than what they are.
Yeah, I think this is also good for their mental, right? Showing that even this far behind, they can win fights. No matter how much it was enabled by just an overstepping from Ablaze. They all stayed in the base after taking the inhib on like half HP. Of course, this was a possibility that this could happen. But this is a big gold infusion onto Chicken. He got so much gold from that. He is now the second richest player in this game, believe it or not. Only ATM has more gold on himself in total than Chicken has. So now there is a tiny sliver of hope that they can actually make this comeback happen. Though it's going to be tough. Elder Dragon spawning in 50 seconds and their top lane inhibitor is dead.
Yeah, can Viego do another miracle? Is the question. Right now. Is Chicken, like, does Chicken have it in them? Like, miracles, do they happen twice? We're about to see.
Binding, it lands on the Viego ace, and the whole Arnold trying to defend. Can they get the kill? Yes, they do! Progenitor gets the kill on the Chicken, and now all hope is lost. Another Dark Binding lands onto Rom. They get the second kill, just for good measure. Do they even go for the Elder Dragon? It doesn't look like they're waltzing straight to the base. Asko flashes over the wall, gets the Dark Binding, but it's only on. Here come the Tethers, though. He hits 3 people, falls before they pop, though. Asko kind of ints there, and now they are going to be 4v3 on the map. They're taking the mid lane inhibitor. Iron King is looking for all of the damage. Kairos gets the heal. Here comes Steady Shockwave's huge! And they get 2 more kills. The inhibitor falls as well, and now it's 4v1 on the map. Can JPF be the hero and defend the base? It's looking not likely. The Nexus turrets are going to fall, and for the second time in a row from Red side with their emergency sub, Ablaze are going to get the win. Or are they? Miracle defense could still be on. They're coming out of the base, but Chicken's already dead again. Nexus falls 2-0 Ablaze.
Yeah, and really well played to Ablaze. Like, no bans, merging substitution, but they're still just running this game apart. Really well played to all of them. Kudos, like, extremely good job.
Yeah, and that in the end, it was another Dark Binding catch by Asko onto Chicken that secures the game. He's been absolutely on fire on this Morgana. 4-2 and 17. For me, the MVP of this game.
He did he just do more damage than both Viego and Ornn and Ezreal on a Morgana?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, if that's not a sign, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, huge performance from Asko. Of course, the whole team played extremely well here. Absolute domination from start to finish in game 2, and now Abstract Chaos being 0-2 down with their backs to the wall. They have to go back to the drawing board to find a composition to counter the strategy that Ablaze are throwing at them, or the series is going to be over after the next game. For now, it's a 2-0 lead. And we are going to be back for Game 3 in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Valence League Division 3's semi-final between Abstract Chaos on the blue side once again and Ablaze on the red side. It's 2-0 for Ablaze, who are coming into the series as the underdogs, seeing as they have an emergency substitute and do not have any first-round bans once more. I'm Mortajo, I'm still with Demise, and we have a surprise on the blue side because Abstract Chaos have used a substitute.
Yeah, and Dickon Balbeni is put in place of the jungle because he was having issues with his connection, which is chicken, and it is gonna be really interesting to see because right now they have Karis at least in draft as their jungler, so it's gonna be interesting to see like how the jungle dynamic is gonna differ. Because so far, chicken has been a little bit off of the high impact in the jungle.
Going to be definitely interesting to see if Karis can change the jungle dynamic. Progenitor has been absolutely on fire, though. But maybe Dick and Bob Benny can make sure the bot lane goes a little more in their favor as well. The Gwen ban stays from game 2. The Nocturne ban stays from games 1 and 2. Now the question will be, do they ban the Caitlyn? Do they ban the Morgana? Or are they going to stay with what they did in the first 2 games and ban the Vi as their third ban?
I think he's gonna resort to Jarvan.
Oh!
Than the Annie.
Interesting. It wasn't picked in the first phase in game 2 by the side of Ablaze, so definitely an interesting ban here from the side of Abstract Chaos. Of course, remember, due to the emergency subs, still no first round bans for Ablaze, who are 2-0 up in this best of 5. They're just 1 game away from this splits finals. And they are going to be determined to take that one because they looked unstoppable in game 2.
Yeah, and there you go. Like first pick of the game, you still have a lot of power picks open. If you want to have like high jungle impact, there's Xin Zhao. There's a lot of top laners that are open. We've seen the Camille already. There's Aurelia. There's like a lot of things that are like really impactful and can more of a team comp around it. Just having that one pick. There's also Viego, which we can see on carries, and there's a Syndra.
That's an interesting first pick. Blind Syndra for JPF in the mid lane. Syndra has neither been banned nor picked in the first 2 rounds. So going to be interesting to see what they pair this with when we are looking at jungle picks. It could technically also be a bot lane Syndra. We've seen that before, but doubtful. Ezreal picked on the other side. Of course, ATM UK has a lot of games in solo queue, and Ezreal has a win rate of over 60% on it. And the Jarvan returns for the 3rd time for Progenitor. He's been absolutely popping off on it so far, so kind of an obvious choice here. But this time the Poppy is on the other side. Something that can interrupt dashes is going to be very useful against what the Blaze has so far been doing.
Yeah, and this also like, oh ho ho ho.
All right, top side locked in. Nunu and Willem for the jungle. Poppy probably going to be top lane. Could, of course, be a support in all technicalities. The real curveball now would be a Nunu mid and a Syndra bot lane.
Yeah,
but I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Curveball, but never probably.
But we just you know have to keep these possibilities in mind.
I mean, there's always the possibility of Syndra flicking to bot lane.
Yeah, alright. Orianna locked in again for the mid lane. The Jarvan Orianna had worked wonders in game 2, which they won absolutely decisively. And they're going to have that jungle mid duo once again as we enter the second ban phase. Now Ablaze has their own bans as well, 2 of them to be exact. Now let's see what they take off the board.
Yeah, and you can see, oh, they're pinching support.
Yeah, with only the bot lane still available, in all likelihood, Alistar seems like a ban that makes sense. Braum gone as well from Asco. They played the Braum themselves in game 2, and now they're banning it. Ashe gone. Yeah. No long range engage from the ADC. It looks like one more ban before we are going to see the final picks of this game 3.
Is it gonna be another Freljordian? Let's see. We have been going with the Freljord for phase 2 of the ban, aside from the Alistar.
They could ban the Camille here. Gwen is already banned. Cranking would have to show something new. And here is the Camille ban. We're going to see something different than from Cryon King in this top lane. interested to see what they are going to blind pick here. Is it going to be a support, or are they going to show top lane already? Support seems much more likely, hiding the top lane. Crown King has been dominating this top lane so far. This could be an interesting one. The Senna to pair with the Ezreal is a very strong lane when it comes to poke. They choose the Swain.
Oh, okay. I think that's Sway support, which
Yeah, probably.
makes any kind of bot lane kind of sad because Swain can really dominate bot lane. Caitlyn is one of the good answers just because of her range.
Yeah, true. Could be
And
really good for Dick and Balbeni here. And it looks like they're going to go for it. Caitlyn locked in for the AD carry position. Has the range to do a lot of things against Swain. Is obviously good against Ezreal with all the wave pushing she can offer and the long range harass. Now, what are they going to pair it with? Thresh is always a strong pick. Can always be strong and then is good at roaming. But Leona is the lock in. Similar qualities to the Thresh.
yeah, but much more like forthcoming. Like with Thresh, you have like a versatile aspect where like you can use all of your tools offensively or defensively. Excuse me. But with the Leona, it is just like you go forward. You know, my name is
Yeah,
Leona. I engage, and
yeah,
it seems to be like an aspect of the comp of chaos right now. Like you can see Bullet, you can see the Nunu, you can see Poppy is also good at engaging, and you can always
yeah.
get a catch with the QE on Syndra.
There's a lot of catch potential on the side of Abstract Chaos here. The Gangplank has been the final lock-in from the side of Ablaze, so for the first time, Crown King is going to be on a champion without any dashes. Of course, dashes much less useful when there's a Poppy on the enemy team. Gangplank also is a champion that can dominate top lane, especially against a not as strong in the early game tank like Poppy. With these barrel chains could do huge amounts of work in lane and later in the fights. Now, with the comps locked in, we have Gangplank, Jarvan, Oriana, Ezreal, and Swain versus what you see on the other side there. And it's looking like we're swapping around positions a little more. It's looking like Kamaka Wiwole will be in the middle lane on that Syndra himself, with Karis going top with a Poppy and JFP going into the jungle with the Nunu. Unless, of course, we have a Nunu mid Syndra top game, which doesn't look the most likeliest of things, but
Yeah,
it could happen.
it could. I mean, it has been like a meta for a while. Like AP Nunu just like get Prio level 1 in Rome. But
All right,
like
then. With these
so
comps locked
far,
in, sorry,
nah,
go on.
nah. So far, Joe, like you can see, like it's the same story for Ablaze. Like almost the same kind of comp. Like dominant bot lane, Crayon is something that has carry potential. Jarvan once again for the third game in a row, and just a stable mage for Kenny. And once again, like a lot of like potential for like power on chaos, but can they like do it? Like now they have an actual like proactive jungler in Nunu, and you have more proactive abilities with Leona and Caitlyn. But will that like be enough? Because at the end of the day, Gangplank here is such a powerful answer to like Syndra, Caitlyn, Leona. You have a lot of armor penetration with the barrels. You do a lot of damage, and the mobility that they have isn't enough, and you can easily catch him off with the barrel chains. And like just a barrel chain with like a Mystic Barrage, and like Jarvan is always jumping on top of whoever is the mobile mid laner. It can be like really sad.
All right, then with the comps as they are demised, do you think we are going to see more games, or will Ablaze continue playing like they have and take this game as well and complete the sweep?
This game is gonna be absolutely dependent on Nunu on the side of Chaos. Like if Nunu can get things going or can like disable or match Jarvan at the very least, it's gonna be like there seems to be like hope in the comp because like Syndra has autonomy over the Oriana early on. You can certainly find like kills, solo kills in like the mid and bot lane. like 2v2s and 1v1s, and even like jungle to mid jungle 2v2 should be like better depending on like how well the Nunu can like engage. So it will be really interesting to see because now you can see a lot of different things. You have like proactive mid, you have proactive jungle, you have a more aggressive bot lane than what they have been usually playing. They've usually been playing like the stable bot lane, but now this is more proactive. So like all of these are signs that they want to find the scrappy game, and scrappy has been the closest that they have been in game one.
Yeah,
So like if
absolutely.
they find that,
I'm also personally pretty hyped to see ATM's Israel. As mentioned before, he's got a more than 60% win rate in solo queue on it. Maybe that is one of the reasons why Abstract Chaos first picked that champion in game 2. But now they couldn't deny it. Now they wanted to first pick the Syndra, and here is the Ezreal was instantly locked in on the other side. What can this Ezreal Swain combination do? They will have probably a chance to have the push against Caitlyn Leona because it's a range support versus a melee support. It always helps you with pushing when you have that kind of advantage. They have to be, of course, careful because if Leona finds the good Zenith Blades and the ignite in the right moment, could be lethal as well. I think this bot lane is going to be a lot more interesting to look at than the last one, as we are about to enter the rift here. And I'm really wondering where everybody's going to go on the side of Abstract Chaos, if it's like we suspect or if they shuffle things around more.
I think it's gonna be just the usual suspects. Like it's like their last game in the playoffs. They really want to have showing where everyone's comfortable where they at. Throwing a monkey's wrench can like mess with Ablaze, but it's also gonna mess with you too, and you're the one that's already pressured in that
Right,
situation.
we pause the 10 seconds. We're waiting for the go from production just to get into the game. And we're live. Summoner's Rift will light up. They're about to leave their base 2 times out of 3. We have seen wins already for Ablaze. So far, they've always tried some kind of cheeky invade. This time, they're fanning out. It looks like a 5-point start from them this time. They absolutely want to make sure that this series doesn't go any longer than it needs to be. And a 5-point start from the other side as well. Ickenbald is still standing in the base. I wonder if there's some kind of connection issue there. Is there going to be a pause or not? Is the question, because he's not bought items yet. Things are moving around. Not sure
They
if
haven't
everybody's
asked for a pause
noticed the
either.
problem here. Yeah. I mean, they used a lot of pause time in game 2, but I was under the impression that pause time resets between games.
Yeah,
Ickenbald has bought. He's leaving the base. Okay, we're all good, it seems. Minions have spawned, though. There's a good ward from Ablaze on the red buff, so they will be aware of where JPF starts his jungle. He's going to be hoping that he's going to have a better showing in the jungle in this game than he had in the mid lane in game 2. And Karis, of course, will be feeling completely different. ADC in the first 2 games, now he's playing a Poppy in the top lane. Of course, in a matchup against Crown King, he's been absolutely popping off. Going to be a difficult one to go there as a tank against the Gangplank. And, let's hope he can hold his own. So we have an interesting game on our hands.
Yeah. Oh,
that was close.
Playing support is always so fun to watch.
Right, and shields flying, bullets getting shot. Let's see where these junglers put the early attention. Do you think we're going to see early ganks?
I mean, top lane is gonna be the place of contention for both sides. This is gonna be where they end up in. Syndra can have like setups for Nunu, or like vice versa. Like they work really well. They have really good CC and they have like high kill potential just from Syndra being Syndra. And like it is gonna be like mid-top focus for the Nunu early on in the game at least. So like a few levels in the bot lane and then like you can find the pick.
Look at this, Benny. It's already poked to less than 200 HP. Something I want to talk about is Does Poppy normally go Conquer in the top lane? Crying King's already putting on a pressure. Less than 100 HP. This could be the first solo kill of the game. He gets dashed, but it doesn't matter. First blood goes to Crying King. A solo kill at not even 3 minutes in the top lane. This does not bode well. In Season 5, we would have said it's a bad omen. A worrying trend, as we say.
Yeah, and it is just like lane kingdom in the top side from Cryon throughout the whole series. Change the player is the pretty bad.
Oh no, look at this. JPF is being invaded by Progenitor on the Jarvan, and he's got so much health off already. Forces the flash, flashes behind, he just waits for his Q cooldown. He's gonna get a kill, a solo kill in the jungle, and it's looking extremely grim for the top side of Abstract Chaos in their elimination game against the Blaze.
Yeah, and it is just really well played by everyone from Blaze, to be honest. Like, Creon just found the solo kill. There was some extension from Karis on the Poppy, but he still found the solo kill. He still like made it work. And then like Progenitor and like Jarvan, he's just like running every game around. This is probably the first time where early game isn't 100% KP. So like he and Creon are gonna have a talk about that later on.
Yeah, and they're gonna meet again, and the Jarvan is a level up and has double buffs. Can JPF get away with that snowball? It looks like it. Meanwhile, they've caught Asco. This could be good for them. The Ignite is on while JPF is dying in the jungle to Progenitor. There is another Q, another solo kill in the jungle. JPF not having a good time while Asco survived the bot lane by using his flash and ATM steal. They're gonna keep going. This Caitlyn's headshots are going to start hurting. But Jarvan's looping in from behind. Oh my word. They even dive under the tower, and now the bullets already get before Jarvan even arrives almost. They get the chase on both of them. ATM kills the bullet, and Progenitor gets his third kill of the game onto the Leona. And it's 5-0, 1500 gold, not even 5 minutes played. Demise, this is not looking better than game 2 for the side of Abstract Chaos at the moment.
It's look like it's just slow. I think everything has been like amounting to them. Like the games, the second game especially hasn't gone that well. The DC from Chicken, like they have to use the sub in this game. Like it's probably just like mentally getting into them, and like once again, like Progenitor and like Creon King are just like running the game. They've been really stable. They've been high impact throughout the series. Like they have been like absolutely showing up the whole time.
Yeah. Also, I'm wondering if Karis would have been solo killed this early. Oh no, another solo kill. Flashes in for the auto attack. Gets another one. That's 2-0 on the Gangplank. And what I was just saying, I'm wondering if it would have been this easy to solo kill him if he had gotten that grasp of the Undying. Because it would have healed him, it would have gotten him more max HP. But now Crown King is just running wild in the top lane, and JPF is being read like a damn book by Progenitor.
It is true, yeah. JPF has been pretty much out jungled the whole series. Like Progenitor has been on Jarvan all games. He's been finding early game kills. He's been finding invades. Like Asco early on was like finding rows with him, but now he's like more stuck to laning. But still, like Progenitor is able to find the invade, and like there is nothing that they're doing about it. And like he runs JPF off the jungle every time. And Karis just heroic charged the minion, and that led to a second solo kill. So probably a little bit of nerves coming into this. So yeah, like having a 2-0 Gangplank at 6.5 minutes is pretty, yeah, pretty rough.
A rough one for sure. The goal lead's already at 2,000, and they land the stun from Asco. Now the bullet's going forward to try and save the dignity of his AD carry. No summon is used for now. And the top laner is still dueling, but I have a feeling that Crown King is happy with the situation as it is. Yeah.
I just have to say, absolute kudos for the drafting on the side of Ablaze. This has been an absolute masterpiece. Like, they played the easy comp in game 1, they found everything in game 2, 3-0.
Oh no, Diffenbot Benny has been caught by the Nevermove, he has been ignited, but will just barely get out with the help of his heal. That looked dangerous. Asco has been on point this series.
Has been, and he's absolutely dominated the bot lane. Like, early on he was like roaming and like getting impact to other lanes, but this one, he's just been running the bot lane. Like, they have Cryo when they want to, They found the gank when they wanted to. They can control the wave. Like really well played in both Autumn and Asco. Like especially well played in Autumn. Like being like an emergency sub and showing up in this match.
Yeah, diving the Nunu. And he can't even live, he eats a minion for health, but ATM just says, okay, I'll just E in, and alright, that shockwave has been flashed away from. But Kamaka Viwole doesn't have a lot of mana, has enough for the Unleashed Power, and finally a solo kill on the board for Abstract Chaos. They have a strong point on the map, and it's Kamaka Viwole on that Syndra.
Yeah, and Kamaka just showed up there. Like, they're on a proactive mid laner. He's shown something, but is it a little bit too late? You can't tell. Syndra can take over the game at this stage, like mid-game 1 and 2 items. Like, Syndra can be an absolute power point. So it would be really interesting to see, like, who's... Like you can see, there are multiple threats on the side of Ablaze. But Syndra can just, like, QER, and, like, somebody is dead.
Yeah,
the
problem here is, though, for Syndra to really work, you kind of need some jungle support, and at the moment, JPF is being pushed out of his own jungle. That's a good W from Karis. The ultimate misses, so he's shoved into the walls of his own Cataclysm, but it does not matter. They get another kill onto the Gangplank, and that is a very rich pirate right now. Creon King possesses more than 4,000 gold. And that makes him by more than 500, by almost 500, the richest player on the map. Here comes a flash though from the Dipla. They caught the Orianna again. Kamaka Viwole once more. The Ignite is on. Can they get the kill? No, they cannot. Top wave catches him. Here comes the flash from Asco. He gets the kill. There is the Gangplank ultimate as well over the top of the bullet. They've tried to make a play and it's gone absolutely horrible. Progenitor gets another kill for himself. 4-0 on the Jarvan. And Kenny doesn't even die. 10-1. 5,000 gold almost, and not even 10 minutes are played. This is going disastrous for Abstract Chaos.
It is, but it is really well played from the side of Ablaze. Like macro movements, like rotations, especially Asco. Asco knows where to be. Like he stayed in the bot lane when he needed. He found the roams when he needed. Like it is really well played on the side of Ablaze. Like he has to give kudos to everyone. Like especially in such circumstances, they don't have bans. You have an emergency player, you still maintain your macro, you still maintain your strong points, because at the end of the day, you still have your core.
Yeah.
And that core is a really strong jungle top. And they have been showing up the whole throughout the entire series.
Are they gonna go for Progenitor? Karis has to be extremely cautious though. Gangplank could show up pretty soon. JPF is around though. But in the end, they don't challenge the Scuttlecraft. The Asco going forward, though. He has the blue if they want this. Progenitor misses the knockup, but gets the Cataclysm onto Kamaka Viwole, and he's unstoppable, as he has been all series on the Jarvan. 5-0. So dueling. Nothing doesn't give this one up. Karis is not having fun. Rift Herald is summoned in the mid lane, too, for some plates for Kenny. They're just destroying them on all ends of the map, and Karis is being dove by the Gangplank. Who needs CC? He just kills him! What is going on in that top lane?
Kyrian is just running the top lane. That is absolute dominance right there. You can see like the difference in items is pretty large. Like it's a Divine Thunder to Bammy Cinder and Armor and MR.
Oh.
But still, like really well played by Kyrian. He finds the solo kill. He found his lead
no.
and he's been holding on to it.
Asco finds another never move. ATM's on a killing spree. The Caitlyn is dead, and now the bullet is sweating bullets because it's being chased by the both of them. Lives for now when the dragon's being picked up by Progenitor. And this one is even more than a slaughter than the other one. Now Creon King is in the enemy jungle. He's going to be in a 1v2. This could actually spell demise for him. In the 1v2, the lead doesn't matter as much, and he's going to be collapsed on by another member. Bullet is being dived in the bot lane. He will die, but they do get the kill onto Creon King, or do they? Yes? No! No! They don't get him! He's running away! Kenny is trying to save his mid lane. His top laner there gets a good shockwave. And Creon King will finally fall, but he dies to the tower. Shutdown gold goes to Kamaka Viwole just when they wanted him. Now Kenny's in the enemy jungle. He's overextended by trying to save his top laner. And a bit of greed costs them 2 deaths. That is big gold in the pockets of the other team. Finally, something goes right, but they're still more than 7,500 gold behind.
Yeah, it still looks very grim. Mountain Dragon has been picked up in the meanwhile. And it'll be an Ocean Soul. And oh boy. This is gonna be a really rough ride.
Oh no. Towers gets the block on the knockup with his own W, but here comes the teleport from Creon King. Progenitor is taking so much damage, so uses the Cataclysm to get in on the engage, flashes away from the stun from Syndra, and the chase is on. Poppy's already dead. Can Kamarigola to get the kill? Yes, he can. He gets the shutdown with the Unleashed Power, but now he's alone behind enemy lines, and Creon King is chasing him. And he gets the kill for himself with just one more Q. The stun lands, so he doesn't have the orange available as it seems. Can Kamakawiwala get the execute? Can he get to a death by a tower? Nope. Crown King just presses R and finds the one piece. He's the king of the pirates now.
Yeah, really well played from Kamakawiwala. Like right there, like he's just finding kill after kill. He's finding huge shutdown. This is the second shutdown that he's had so far. That's like a lot of code injected into him. And I mean, yeah, he dies, but at the end of the day, like that kind of shutdown is always worth it. And he will be the fighting chance.
Oh, this could be a 3v3 in the bot lane. We have a collapse happening from both teams, but JPF is against two right now. He uses the Lunar Ultimate. There's going to be so much damage on Vasco, who presses on out to prevent a lot of the damage. The shotwave is absolutely massive! The bullet's already dead. Here comes the kill onto JPF as well. Now Dickenball is trying to do what he can, but the Never Move tags him. Asko has been laser focused on these. Progenitor gets a kill for himself. It's a triple for the Jarvan. And now they're trying to collapse onto Creon King. 1v2 once again. Gangplank against Poppy and Syndra. Can he get anything done? The stun doesn't get him into the wall. Kamakawiwala does a lot of damage, but Creon King flashes away. Here comes the teleport from Kenny. They do not manage to kill the pirate. Just barely alive is Creon King here. With the help of his mid laner teleporting in and out, Jarvan coming from the other side. Bullet is going to try and save his team. Jarvan gets rooted up by the Zenith Blade, but gets over the wall anyway. Creon King is still healing up with these oranges. He is being baited though. Can they get the kill? Poppy's moving fast with the W. The chase is not coming now. Kamakawiwala with that Scatter the Weak available could make something happen here. The smite lands onto the blue buff for Progenitor. He's going to steal this blue buff away now. They just need to manage to leave the top lane. Unleash power, and he lives again. This man is immortal.
This pirate, you can send MF after him. You can send like, I don't know, like everyone. Bilgewater, demons, even a Rodo with a hammer. He still survives.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's Goldie Roger at the very moment. Absolutely legendary. 6-1-1 on the Gangplank. He's by far the richest player. He's got almost double the gold of Karis, and he's found himself another thing. Karis gets hit by a bit, gets hit by an auto attack. Crown King's on a King's 3 once again. He's Brazil versus Germany, 7-1.
7-1. Oh my god, cool. And Asko.
He wants a solo kill against the enemy jungler. The move has hit the ultimate procs, and here comes the ultimate from Gangplank. Can they get the kill on that? It's doing a lot of damage, but Asko seems like he can't get the kill quite down. Kamakawiwala saving his jungler there, but it costs him a lot of HP himself, and Asko is not giving up. He's still there. The bullet will find him though. The Zenith Blade lands. Here comes his own W. The ultimate comes from the Leona, and Asko doesn't die. The ace in the hole gets blocked in. Now he goes golden to stop the burn. Nothing seems to work for APC right now. 420 is their score, and they're certainly not living the high life right now. As Progenitor is catching the bullet in the jungle. Never Move almost tags him. Asko still hasn't recalled. Kenny's taking a lot of damage here. That's so much tower damage. Progenitor has to be careful. Zenith Blade, the tower shots are still coming in. He gets the EQ, but they're all so low. And now Nunu's going to come in with the snowball. He gets stacked by the Never Move to stop the moving. Kenny finally falls though. And now they have to try to escape the spot. The reinforcements are coming. ATM is here. Ultimate comes in from Jarvan. There's so much damage. He gets here now. He does not die. The Triumph saves him. He gets the double kill. He gets another kill for himself. It's an absolute slaughter. And they managed to get just one kill. Chasing two more Lord Members costs them 3 of their own. And the first Ocean Dragon's also going to fall. They are just playing with their food at this point.
They're absolutely dominating this game. They're absolutely running with chaos.
Oh my goodness! Crying King's unstoppable after the True Shot Barrage tags Kamakawiwala. These barrels are already doing insane damage.
Really well played from everyone beside of the blade. They've been showing up really hard this series.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Last game, we had a 25-minute 12,500 gold lead, which was already more than impressive. Now they have a 17.5-minute 12,000 gold lead. Let that sink in. Is maybe the biggest lead I've seen this early in a game ever. And they're not done. Bullet gets tagged. And here's another kill for Crying King. He is dominating.
Oh, Creon, this pirate is out for blood.
Yeah, they're not done. They're gonna take this tower. The Demolish is online. Just one auto from Crying. Oh, that's a good scatter the weak, but it's not enough. They're just gonna take the tower. They don't care. Now they go forward. Kamaka will try to do something, try to make a play, but it's just too late. The wallet slapping is too big. Now they're coming in from behind, 2v3, but the health bar is extremely low. Can they get the shutdown onto Crying King? He's just healing. He's eating oranges. He's not caring. He finally gets shut down by the Poppy ultimate. They get 2 kills for themselves. It cost them their jungler, but they're gonna say worth it. But the problem is, this is just going back to ATM, and he's just gonna walk straight to an ATM to pick up some more gold.
He just walked into S3. Okay, I just think, yeah. I think like they've been really desperate this game, like Abstract Chaos as a whole, but like really well played to Astro throughout the series, especially like Morgana. He showed up with the Lightning, Swain he's showing up with the Nevermores, and he's even like showing up with the ult, the roams and the lane fights, and even the visions, like the W. He's been like everywhere. His impact has been absolutely massive. This is an absolute show, like a stellar show from everyone on the side of the Blazer.
They're more than just dominating this game so far. As we said, more than 12,000 gold, not even 20 minutes played. They have 3 dragons as well. Oh, Kenny gets tagged by the stun from Syndra, gets stunned in the wall by Kairos as well. They get the kill, Shockwave misses, and the teleport has coming from Creon King. Can he get something in return for his mid laner step? Here comes the Cataclysm, Kairos to fall again, 1-8 on the Poppy, not having a fun time this game. Kamaka Wale will try to survive. That's a good scatter of the week, tagging both of them. Here comes the Visions of the Empires. It will miss, but ATM UK is unstoppable because he gets the true shot barrage now. Meanwhile, Asko is in trouble. He's in a 2v1. Here comes the Zenith Blade, but he doesn't care. Some lightning, and the Emperor is served.
Oh, and even the Yeti is on the menu next. No, they're just starting the Baron right now. They seem to be just wanting to close the series. And why wouldn't they? They are absolutely in a dominant position. 13k gold ahead. Soul in 2 minutes. They're getting Baron in 20. It does. It's over at this point.
Oh, Asko has been caught. He dies to the Caitlyn. That was a great 90 caliber net. They get something in return for that Baron, even if it's just the most minuscule of prizes. Almost 15,000 gold in 20 minutes is the most doomed I've ever seen any game be. And unless we see the throw of the century, this is going to be a clean sweep for Ablaze.
I think we need a throw of the millennia for that to go.
Another true shot barrage coming in. And Crying King just doesn't care about tower shots. He just moves forward and eats some oranges. The Demolish on the tower. The tower's almost gone. One auto attack from Gangplank will kill it, but they're trying to find the fight. Zenith Blade forward from the bullet. Crying King still doesn't care about anything. He's got the Ezreal with him. Tower falls. And meanwhile, in the bot lane, look at this. The teleport is coming in from the Orianna, who have been pushing the bot lane so far. The Bullet's on 400 HP. They're 3 members against 2. The recall is trying to come in from Poppy. How it just the shockwave whips.
TP? TP on the side of Karis?
Oh, where is he going with that? They're trying to find the flank, but Kawakami is already dead. Current King is on a killing spree. The Bullet goes forward to his own death. Nothing else. Creon King just tanks, snowballs, tower shots, stuns. He doesn't care. He's a big pirate. Oh, here comes the Poppy from red, but he pushes the wrong one in. He gets the Ezreal, not the Gangplank, and that will just spell his doom. And that is the rampage for ATM and UK. He's 6-0 and 11 on the Ezreal, delivering on that promise that his solo queue record shows. The first inhibitor falls at 22 minutes. It's 17,000 gold. At some point, their gold lead is going to be 1,000 per minute. Not the gold lead if this keeps up.
Are they gonna end now, or is it just gonna go back to Soul? Soul is in 15? I don't think they can end it. Oh, never mind.
Takes a little damage, comes in from the Bullet, but he just eats an orange, and it's K! Clan King's unstoppable. 16-2 on the Gangplank. Who is
Nevermore?
It's the true Pirate King. And they get another kill under the tower. I think they're wanting to end this game right now with this Baron buff. Dancing Shelly's not going to be happening because she gets killed just as the tower falls. Two-shot barrage not hitting many members. Just one Karis tries to find something against this gangplank, but a pirate is free. A pirate's life for me. Yo ho ho! It's a 3-0.
An absolute masterclass in game 3. They've just been there. I'll be honest, that's why Chaos seems really out of it in game 3, but kudos to everyone. Like, absolutely great job on everyone on the side of Ablaze. It's been an absolute joy to watch. Everyone has been
Yeah,
playing to a really high standard.
yeah. They've been showing incredibly today. It would not surprise me if they play like this in the finals that they have a really, really good chance at winning this one. And especially Creon King, absolutely top gapping Karis. To be fair, Karis has been in an off roll this game, played ADC the first 2 games. But Creon King has showed them what it means to put someone off roll against him.
Yeah.
Multiple solo kills, 16 kills just for him in not even 23 minutes. What a performance on the gangplank.
27k damage nonetheless. He's beating a 1k damage a minute number in this game. And absolutely well played from the side of everybody on the Blaze. So, Joe, who do you think you pick as your MVP for this one?
It's tough. The whole team played extremely well. They played extremely well together. As we mentioned before, the game plan was there and they executed well on it. I would personally give it to Progenitor because he basically, his presence on the map ensured the already winning lanes that they couldn't be challenged. And it was an absolute jungle masterclass from Progenitor on the Jarvan. There could, of course, be an argument made for either Creon King or Asko, who've played more different champions this series and who've also popped off extremely hard. Yeah, but for me, Progenitor would be MVP.
Say, like personally at least, I would say Creon was just like showing up massive in every game of the 3. Like game 1, which was the closest, I think Creon was the one that carried it to the finish line with the Gwen. Like, sure, like not to take anything away from Progenitor, he's had an absolutely amazing series, but like in game 1, where like Cavioli was doing really well in the set, the Gwen was the one thing that was holding the fights and swinging it always in the favor of a Blaze later on.
Yeah,
So my
fair
point would
point.
be made to him.
Yeah, fair point. And of course, it's hard to argue with the 16-2 and 2 gangplank. He's gonna shoot you if you disagree with him.
That is gonna be like a really dangerous shot, no man.
Yeah, but that gangplank. We're going back to the golden age of pirates with that one in the
Yeah.
Caribbean. There was just nothing Abstract Chaos could do this game, especially game 2 and 3 were two of the biggest stomps I've seen in VL. And for me, they now, as mentioned before, are absolutely the favorites for the final. And yeah, absolutely. There's not all too much to say because it was just it looked so easy, especially in game 3.
Yeah, game 3 was just like, I'll be honest, it was like demoralizing to watch if you're like an abstract chaos fan or player. Like you had like good points, but like he still like fall to the same pitfall of like Jarvan running the game over and Creon just dominating top, and then you just feel bad.
Yeah,
And you can
like
feel like the mental was like going downhill throughout game 3, especially. There was a lot of desperate plays on the side of a abstract chaos.
yeah, they kept engaging and engaging and engaging, and they just kept dying. To be fair, Ablaze played in a way that encouraged being engaged on. They always stayed around fights with very low HP, but they knew they could do it. They had so much money in their pockets, they could just keep healing up and supporting each other and shielding each other, so that they just barely wouldn't die all of these times. And if you're that behind and then they keep living on low HP, it's just demoralizing as hell. And what I would say for the opponents that Ablaze will face in the finals of Division 3, if there is a point to attack, it's probably the mid lane, because Kenny did get solo killed by Kamaka Wiwole in that last game. shout out to that. That was a great solo kill from the Syndra on towards the Orianna. But in the end, I'm not all too sure if that's enough, because Kenny still farmed well. Kenny still did all the things an Orianna needs to do in team fight. So it's going to be a rough one, but I think you need to ban Jarvan.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to find a way to cope with early aggression, because if you ban Zorvin, then you probably leave like a Nocturne open, for example.
Yeah, you don't want that either.
Yeah.
Don't
You,
want
you
that
just need to
either,
find a
probably.
way to like, hey, like he does really aggressive early game jungle, and like Kirion is always on like a carry top. Let's find a way to deal with that. How do we deal with that?
Yeah, and it looks like we do have an interview victim after this one. It's going to be the top laner himself, and we can congratulate him on the series win any second. I think we're ready to have him dragged in. All right, hello there, Creon King. What be ye opinion of that final? The man with the 16-2 Gangplank. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you. It was really fun, that game especially. I'm sure you can see why. There was some stuff happening beforehand, which was like, a little bit nervous. But well, it went well, and we managed to win the games. So I'm quite happy.
All right, then. Congratulations to you as well, Progenitor. It seems you have come in here as well. I shout you out as the MVP of the series, of course. It's been extremely close, I think, between the two of you and maybe Asko. You all played super well. Congratulations on the win. What's your opinion on the series? Were you as much stronger than them as you expected, or did you think it was going to be closer?
I thought it was going to be closer because going into the game, we had a bit of a mess yesterday and this morning, which was the reason that we had to use an emergency sub. I also have been on vacation recently. I only came back a couple days ago, so I haven't been super practiced. So I did think I was going to perform a bit worse, but luckily it went very well for us.
Holy damn, you should go on vacation before every game day if that's how you play then. Another thing this win means is you are in the final for Division 3, and that also means you're going to be in Division 2 next split. How much are you looking forward to that?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to quite a lot. We scrimmed a couple of Div 2 teams while in the regular split, and it was a nice experience. They definitely feel like they are stronger than Div 3, so we might not do so well there in the Div 2. So yeah.
Well, congratulations to the two of you, like just to begin with. And I would just like to ask you about something. Like, how was the situation like integrating? You said the emergency sub. Like, how did you need to like change the set strats that you had before the series, or like you just like plugged and play him in? Like, hey, we're gonna do this, and you just do this with us.
I think we just wanted to understand like how they play, and I think most of it was we just left him on an island in bot lane. Like Asco just went and roamed and came with me, and we made plays around the rest of the map, and we kind of left him to get really big. And then we get to the late game, and obviously since he's been farming, then he's really huge, and he's just a huge asset on the team because it's a really strong ADC.
That's great to hear. And speaking of Asco, he had an absolute standout performance in games 2 and 3, both on the Morgana and the Swain, respectively. The two of you, Proganator, has been absolutely dominant in that game. Whether it be the roaming, you absolutely destroyed the Viego in game 2 and the Nunu in game 3. That was really well played. So, what is like the mindset that you have when you see like a weak early game jungler like the Viego, like the Nunu? Do you always try to find the engage, or do you find the counter ganks?
So when it comes to Nunu, I saw that he took Aftershock, which means that he's going to be harder for him to run away from me because he took Aftershock when normally they have Phase Rush, so they hit you with Snowball and they run away at Mach 5. So since he didn't have it, it was really easy for me to just kind of go into the jungle and bully him out of his own jungle in Game 3. And then Game 2 against Viego was just making sure we shut him down because we've all dealt with a really fed Viego before, and he just kind of destroys all of you. So we just need to make sure that he doesn't really get off the ground easily. So if we can suppress him for as long as possible, then it gives us a really nice platform to continue the game on.
Indeed, that was such a good strategy. And one final question: you in the final are gonna be playing against the winner of Bill Bias Academy and Team Rocket Academy that is being played right now on the other channel. How much are you looking forward to the final? Are you like, do you have any like stress or like any like you're looking out for any of the players in either team?
We played the Rockets before in the like regular season stuff, and I think we lost to them at that time.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah. So it would be nice to like face them potentially and just beat them again if we could. Well, I'm just a really competitive person, so I really want to just compete and win more. So, but I don't think it will be super easy. The games were close when we fought them before, so it might be quite a lot harder than this one.
In a similar vein, BBUA is at the moment leading 2-1 against Roca. How do you like your chances against them? Do you think they will be stronger, or do you just not care? You want to win, you know you can win.
I mean, I think we have pretty decent chances, especially if we keep playing like we did today, because everyone played really nicely today. And maybe we can actually have bans next time, because obviously we had the emergency sub situation, so we only played with about 4 bans throughout the whole series today. I don't think we played BBUA, did we? Because
No.
they're in the other pool, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So I haven't seen a huge amount about them, but we're definitely gonna have to go and look through them, prepare on them, get booked up. But I definitely look forward to the game.
All right, then. If it be BBUA or Roca, I wish you guys good luck in that final. Congratulations again on the win. And thank you guys for being here for the interview. Very much looking forward to that final next week. For now, I would like to thank you guys for watching. On behalf of me and the entire broadcast crew, go over to twitch.tv/officialValence for the other series. As we said, BBUA is leading Roca 2-1. They're in the middle of game 4, and it's already a banger. So definitely go over to see that. Thank you, Demise, for being here with me, as well as Travis for being our production assist. And hop over to VL1. We're looking forward to seeing you guys again next week for the finals of Division 3.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.